Hello. I don't think there's anyone there. Someone might watch this back though. I got a request from for an ice block from a sick person just as I went live, so I'm gonna fuss around. Maybe shouldn't have opened it. Hey, Greg, I'm just gonna do a thing with a hammer or mallet. I'm gonna smash this up. Got a sick person. Can't hold things down, so one of those things you forget. It's got electrolytes in it. Oh, there we go. All right, that's done. Hey, Salumi. Ah, playing Stray, the cat game. Nice. All right. I have a few things going on. Now I have to deliver smashed up ice to the sick person, so I'll be back in a minute. Oh, okay. Coming back. And hello, Justin. Oh. Bernie made a pine lime ice cream martini. It's good. I'd love to know what the ingredients are. This, which I'm about to pour myself, I call a clarified creamsicle colada. You remind me of it because it kind of tastes like a splice, an orange one. Americans call a creamsicle. We call it a splice. Got a video coming out about it on Monday. Fuck me sideways. Why was that so difficult? Fucking shirt balls. Ugh. God damn it. Yes, you made me think of a splice with your name, but that's also what I call. Well, I'm courting the American market because that's where the majority of YouTube viewers are. So I'm calling it a creamsicle, and I'm giving myself a cherry because I like cherries. Look how clear that is. And there's ice in there too. Oh, you can probably see the top of the ice. There's my super clear ice and my super clear clarified cocktail that had rum and whiskey in it till I clarified it. Now it's got cherry juice. It's coloured it a bit with cherry juice. And Mimsy's wandering into the kitchen looking weird. You flavoured yours with lychee, Bernie. Nice. Lychee's, I find, a very strong flavour. A little goes a long way. But yes, I may have to duck out on occasion during the stream to cater for the sick person. So we'll see what happens. Oh, God, now Mimsy's going to act super needy and make stupid noises because she's a stupid cat. That was her. Oh, Bernie, you garnished with lychee. I see. So yeah, Greg. In real life, the resolutions probably go. It's very light yellow. When I do clarified cocktails, particularly when you're using brown spirits, it cleans out most of the color. So the clarified cocktail tends to be somewhere on the spectrum from yellow to amber. And hello, Megalege. And Justin, it's not COVID. Young Mazangri had 4 wisdom teeth taken out. A little surgical procedure, get 4 wisdom teeth taken out. I think what's making her sick is her pain medication. I think she's reacting to the pain medication, and it's making her very sick. Because she was very sick last night. And then all today she was fine, if more than a tad chipmunk cheeky, which I think she's a bit self-conscious about, so I try not to laugh too much, but she looks pretty goddamn funny. And then suddenly tonight she's sick again, so I think she's taken more pain meds, and it's made for... Like, they gave her the serious shit, like oxycodone. But like I said, she's had 4 wisdom teeth surgically removed. That's not trivial. So... Young Mr. Angry, on the other hand, is out having O-week drinks at uni with his friends. I assume that's a mid-year intake O-week. I don't know. I think everything in the tertiary world is very different to when I went to uni, because we were learning from, Newton. Because I'm old. Hey, you get it? There's a joke about being old. But your cat's being sick. Well, you don't like cats being sick. Justin, you still have wisdom teeth? Yeah, I've had mine removed. Not all at once, progressively. So I don't have to worry about that. I kept some of them. I've got them in a little... I've got a little jar of teeth. It's got some of my teeth and some of my offspring's baby teeth. Does that sound weird? That I've got a jar of teeth? Honest, they're not trophies. I've got a few things going on here. Besides the fact I'm sort of drinking my clarified cocktail, I'm making more clear ice. That's probably going to take a couple of hours to come out. So, yes, the secret, if you want clear ice, kids, the secret is directional freezing. Anyone who tells you a method to make perfectly clear ice that doesn't involve directional freezing is full of shit. If you have lots of freezer space, you can do a big one, get a little esky, take the lid off, fill it with water, and put it in the freezer if you have a lot of freezer space. If you're very rich, you can get special machines that do directional freezing and will give you clear ice. This is a large, double-walled, insulated coffee cup. And because it's insulated, the reason you get cloudy ice is because there's impurities in ice, including air. And normally when you freeze ice, it freezes from all directions at once. And so it pushes those impurities into the middle and freezes them. Directional freezing pushes the impurities down as it freezes. The impurities freeze last. So yeah, with omnidirectional freezing, it's the middle of the ice that freezes last. So all the impurities are in the middle of the ice. With directional freezing, as the water freezes, it pushes the impurities down. So the impurities are just in the last bit of ice. Or if you don't let the last bit freeze, it's still water. That's actually better. So yeah, that's why you get impurities in ice, because there's impurities in water, and it's got to do with the way it freezes. So that took. This is not very time effective. Doing it yourself usually takes about 2 days, because you also don't want to succumb to the temptation to turn your freezer up to freeze it more quickly, because the quicker it freezes, the more likely impurities are to get trapped in the ice, so the less likely your ice will be clear. So if it freezes slightly slower, you're going to get a better result. But it also means the process takes 2 days, which is weird for a couple bits of ice, quite honestly. Of course, the other way to get clear ice is there are commercial ice makers who make it, and you can buy it. That's where bars get. If you ever go to a bar and they have like super sexy clear ice, they've almost definitely bought it from a commercial ice maker. There's a couple in Melbourne and a couple in Sydney that just churn out hundreds of kilograms of clear ice. Those individual cubes, they're quite expensive. I think they're like a couple $1 each. So you can do it at home with double wall insulated coffee cups. Wait, is there something in this? Oh man, I've still got one of my liqueurs from Lux Brew. I should put that in something. A Kakadu plum. Okay. Might be good in a martini. So the other fun thing about doing the directional freezing with coffee cups is you can get them in different sizes. Like I've got this one that's a skinny cylinder. See, this one's bigger. And you get the normal sized ones. You got to be careful though. Some of the coffee cups sort of come back in a bit at the top, and if you get one of those, that'll fuck you up. Oh wait, I should tell AZ texted me earlier wanting to join. I'll let him know I emailed him the link. Now, he wanted to join. Anything could have happened in the intervening hour, and he might not join. It might be ages till he joins. He might be here in 30 seconds. Again, he's been trying to save up spoons, as the saying goes, to hang out with us for a while. He usually has pretty amazing staying power once he does arrive. So we'll see. We'll see if AZ gets here. But yes, that's a whole thing. Yes, I don't know. I forgot AZ, but he'll be. What's this place called again? Lux Brew. I don't even know if they're still in business. Wait, did I? I can. No, I did. I closed the other browser. Okay. It's International Tiger Day. There you go. Lux Brew in Knoxfield. That's them. Cafe coming soon. That's been there for a couple of years. Yes, I'm over 18. Ooh, they have videos and recipes. Cocktails. They do bottled cocktails. A bramble, a Singapore sling, a gin blossom, a whiskey sour, an espresso martini, classic mojito. And they do 750 ml cocktails. A mojito, an espresso martini, and a gin blossom. There you go. Whiskey sour. An Australian finger lime margarita. Neat. Passion fruit caipirinha. Okay, they've... and a Mai Tai. A bottled Mai Tai. I want to see what there is. All right, wait a sec. He's replied. All right, he says he's coming now. Megaleech, by biography, do you mean an autobiography? You'd be able to ask him soon. What do they make? They make vodka, gin, white rum, and spiced rum. Oh, there you go. Ooh, they do a whiskey, railway whiskey. Fresh cut timber on the nose. Warm balanced palate, light peppery notes, subtle white oak finish. Interesting. Poets Lane. Okay, they got a shit ton more than when I last looked. They do whiskey and brandy. I wonder if they're actually really distilling that themselves or if they're doing a mix. Wait, he's there. I distracted him. There he is.
Hello, how you going? They're not distilling it themselves. They're getting aliens to do it.
Oh, I've been watching videos about grabby aliens tonight, which is a fun hypothesis.
I'm glad you have, because I have a story to tell you about grabby aliens.
Tell us about grabby aliens.
Well, you know, right, that I've been away from the limelight and from public view because of possible COVID infection, right?
Yes.
And I was giving myself a rat kit examinations, which were coming back dodgy.
Negatory?
Well, no, they weren't coming back negatory. That's the thing. They were coming back, you know, I wasn't coming back TC. I wasn't total
ambiguous.
C. They were coming. That's right. That's right.
Coming
and
back
I am
ambiguous.
not ambiguous. I am anything but ambiguous.
So are they measuring your COVID or your sexuality? That's what I'm
Well, I was going to say I'm cis. I'm, you know, and it was saying cis. But then it was giving me a big blotch on my T, on my trans. It was giving me a big blotch, and I was going, well, that's still saying trans. It's just saying blotch. It's saying has tendencies. Yeah. And I was going, the fuck is this? And I was reading the literature, and I even watched a couple of YouTube videos from the company itself, and it said, if you see this, that's not conclusive. And I'm going, I don't want inconclusive. I've had inconclusive for fucking 30 years, right? I've had fucking inconclusive for a long time. Oh, we're not sure. Fuck you. Give me drugs. And anyway, so I was talking to a friend of mine who often has the sex with me, and he said, I'm not touching you until you get a PCR test. And I'm going, that's harsh. That's very, very harsh. I am on my sick bed, probably dying of the COVID. And you're not going to give me the succor of comfort before you put me into a cardboard box. Why a cardboard box? Because I'm not going into a wooden box. I'm going into a cardboard box. In fact, if we can work it, I'm going into...
with flower seeds in your pocket, so they, as you decompose, it grows on you.
Interestingly enough, basically, we're hoping we can get it into a gunny sack. But we might not be able to get that to go. Might not be able to get that to fly. And then get buried under a gum tree. Anyway, so I said, I've got to go and get this PCR test. And
Yeah.
I went into my quacks and said, right, hi, I'm not well. I've got to get a PCR test. And they said, what the fuck are you doing here? You don't come in when you're unwell. He says,
Yeah.
you're a doctor. The fuck else would you go? And
Yeah.
you don't come in when you're sick. And you're a doctor. And then said, well, you don't come in when you got COVID. And I said, well, I did a rat in this morning and it said I was clear. I didn't say it was inconclusive because I thought that was packaging the information. That was packaging the information all wrong. You know how I like to package my health information.
Yeah. No. You want to send the right message. You
I want to send
vibe.
the right message to the right people. And they went, all right, you can come in. And then I said, somebody who may or might not have sex with me doesn't want to have sex with me until I get a PCR test. And they said, oh, we'll go next door to the lab next door, and I'll give you one. So I did. And I went next door and waited for half an hour and said, so give me a PCR test. And they went, oh, we don't do that here.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay. Where then should I go to get a PCR test? Oh, they do them all over. Okay, all over.
Can we
is
be
good.
more precise?
All over is not here. Giving me an all over that I could go to. I will go to a hospital. And I was on the 19 tram line. I was at the corner of Sydney Road and Brunswick Road at the Better Health Medical Clinic, which is where my GP lives most of the time, actually. And so I got on the tram and I went down to the Royal Melbourne Hospital and I went into the emergency ward and I talked to the lovely person that was pre-triaging the triage because there was a shit load of people there. Hello, Dr. Abigail. You and I have got to chat later. Anyway, and then I said to her, so I want to get PCR'd up. And she went, oh, well, you'll have to scan in here first. So I scanned in 25 minutes. And I got a sticker. And I said, do I get a lolly? And she said, well, no, you don't get a lolly.
Mama.
And I went, oh, I've been good. And she said, we haven't been that good. And she said, you've got to go around to the main entrance of the hospital. So around the main entrance of the hospital. And then I got pre-scanned again. And the woman there was looking over my shoulder. And I said, is there something more interesting than me? And she said, well, I did see a guy wanking out the front before. And I said, well, it is a beautiful day. It was raining and windy.
But, you know, you got to do it. You got to do it.
It's a beautiful day for it. I mean, you don't know what offer you're going to get. You really don't. Yeah, you know. I mean, and this is the place. It's public, and people thinking, oh, I might just grab a last one before I go in for my operation. And she was sort of giggling at that, and I said, or you might get arrested. And she said, yes, he got arrested. And I said, that often happens. I found. She said, personally, and I said, I'm not going to commit to that.
Just observationally.
Yeah. And she said, all right, well, you can have a sticker. So I had a sticker and a good mask that I already got off the triage woman. And then I said, so PCR test. And she said, yeah, go through, past the screening. And I went, the fuck is this? Because I already had to, because you've got to get your phone and you've got to scan the barcode. And I'd already scanned one. Now I scanned a second one, and that took me 25 minutes to answer their questions. And it's all going to the same government department. I'm thinking, couldn't they pull up some of the information? You know, and no. So I go to the internal screening, and I get pinged for temperature. And so, are you unwell? And I went, well, I might be. I'm looking to get a PCR test. This is after I've done another barcode scan
Yeah.
35 minutes. And I'm thinking, this is really, really not efficient. And
To suck saws.
I've got another sticker, and I say, okay, this is my third sticker. Do I now get a lolly? And the guy looked at me and went, why would you get a lolly? And I'm going, I'm not going to push this. I am not going to push
was
this.
that like Eastern European or Central Asian? No sense of humor.
Mask on, don't know.
The man of mystery, but with no sense of humor.
Man of mystery, but with no sense of humor. Okay, that gets better. I've got the perfect one of them later. Anyway, so I said, okay, so I've got to go past you to the PCR. We don't do that here. Okay. Where perhaps might I get a PCR scan? The Vinny's does them. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I thought we meant the op shop. We're actually talking about St. Vincent's Hospital, though. If you go to one of the grannies in a Vinny's op shop, and you go, yes, darling, sit down.
Open your mouth, sweaty. Open your mouth. Head back. I'm going to get right up your nose. So 2 trams later, and I'm starting to really run out of spoons here because I may or may not have COVID, but I have definitely got a cold. And
so you're under the weather. That's the best case scenario.
Fucking truck has run me over. I've been spending the week in sort of partial isolation just in case.
Yes.
And being very careful about who I'm looking at and talking to and masking with. Somebody who will remain nameless, who was very good about getting me stuff because I couldn't go outside, this is so cute. We'd go and get me stuff and then take his shoes off, sneak up to my door, drop the packets outside the door, and I could hear the crinkle of the paper bags, and then tiptoe away, and then give me a message once he was down in his flat and going, your stuff's outside your door, so that he wouldn't have to see me face to face. And I'm going, well, one of us hasn't got COVID, so maybe one of us is in the right. Anyway, so I was just grateful to get stuff. Okay, so anyway, I go up to St. Vincent's Hospital. There's another 2 screenings. Those 2 screenings in total last 50 minutes. Again, there is talk of stickers and lollies. By this time, I have 5 stickers on me. I am starting to look like a 70s fucking activist or punk. And I'm going, lolly. And one of the nurses goes, you don't get a lolly. I know you're kind. You just wanted to give it to the children outside. And I went, damn. She does know my kind. And she pissed herself laughing. And he went, okay, what do you need, man? And I went, I'm looking for PCR. And she said, we don't do that here. I'm going, come on. And she said, how many people have told you that you could get it here? And I went, I've been to 3 different hospitals so far.
Yeah.
And she went, yeah, that'd suck. We do it for staff. Or if you're getting a procedure. I said, I'm getting one in about a month. And they said, no, tomorrow. I went,
tomorrow, yes.
Yeah, it's not tomorrow. All right. And so a guy said, here's the wrong name of a place you can go in Hoddle Street. And I'm going, okay, right. And so I look up the wrong name of a place in Hoddle Street, but I remember the address. It was 365 Hoddle Street.
Right.
And the actual name of the place, and I will tell you the name of the place because it's a real place, Co-Health. Co-Health. C-O Health. Co-Health, Hoddle Street, 365 Hoddle Street. It is across the road from the Victoria Park train station.
Okay.
I'm telling you this because I got a cab because I just couldn't. I was starting to really run out. I was just really starting to run out. And I went from there and got a cab to this place and another scan in. And this one took, no shit, an hour and 20 minutes to do. And I'm going, and of course the logo at the bottom was same government department that it fucking put all the rest in. And I'm going, okay, and put your doctor in. And I put my doctor in, and I went, no, we don't have your doctor. And it said the last three did. Co-Health is great. My local community health service. Yeah, they are great. They are really actually quite good, except for one human, which I will tell you about in a minute. So I went in there and basically I was like an hour and something minutes, and it didn't know my doctor, and because it didn't know my doctor, it wouldn't let me go on. And so I said, finally, I don't have a GP, and went, oh, okay, you can come in. And I went, okay, you should have just said that. And the thing is, the other scans knew who this doctor was and could drag him out of the database, but this one couldn't. And I'm thinking, go into the same fucking database that you've been pushing all of this information into, and drag some of this shit out, and it'll be good. And I was, no. And so I go in, and I get met by a lovely man. He says, so you are here for... And I said, PCR test. Please, Jesus, let there be a PCR test. And he said, yes, good. You are here in the right place. And I'm going, oh. And I said, so sit here until you go to the next 3 stations. And I'm going, 3 stations? And
stations.
And I'm going, oh, okay, well, I've... Do you mind if I go to the toilet? Is there a toilet? I've got to, oh, just over there is a portaloo. And I went there, and it was a lovely portaloo. It was clean and gorgeous. And
classy portaloo.
Classy portaloo. And so I used the portaloo and came out. And by the time I came out, everybody had gone, and it was just me. And so I just I zipped through and got asked the same questions that I'd been asked 15 times and told the same answers, which was good for me because I got another sticker. No lolly. And then I go into the Hut of Dreams, and there's this golem, and not golem as in Spiegel, but golem as in clay made up automaton.
Hebrew legend.
Hebrew legend.
A massive animated clay being.
Right. And she's like looking at me, and I could tell she was a mouth breather through her mask, and she had no life in her eyes at all because someone had rubbed the aleph, smudged the aleph of her forehead. And she looked at me and went, and just said nothing. And I said, hi. And she went, give me your kit. And I handed her the plastic bag that I'd been given from the other station.
Yeah.
And she opened it up and said, open your mouth. And she said, okay, now we do your nose. And up the nose. Oh, that was... And down the throat was a little bit... Glad you've learned to control your gag reflex there, son. Some won't.
Comes in handy.
Yep, it does. And then up the nose, then up the other nose. And she's done that a bit harsh, and it's started pissing blood out of my nose. And I've gone, oh, you got me there. And it's like really pouring out. And she's gone, oh, you're dripping blood all over the floor. And I went, well, yes, because I don't want to drip it all over me. And she said, but you'll get it on the floor. And I said, that is real. And she said, well, you'd better pinch your nose. And I went, okay. No, pinch your nose properly. Oh, okay. And she said, no, you're getting blood all over the floor. You need to pinch your nose properly. Oh, okay. No. And then she left. And someone else came in and went, I can see there's blood here. And they gave me one of those tampon things you stick up your noses.
Yeah.
And because I was thinking, I'm not fucking around with you, woman. You fucking stabbed me. You fix it. So they managed to get that up there, and it stopped it. They're great. They're like, imagine a tampon, yeah.
I'm
string and
imagining
all,
a tampon. Okay.
right? String and all, but flat, yeah, flat, just like, and like really flat. And they stick it up there, and it just boom, immediately expands,
Yes.
and boom, that's it. Nose stops bleeding. And they say leave that in there for an hour, and basically, they cleaned up the floor. I said, do you need any more samples? And they said, no, we've got enough. And they said, wait here for 15 minutes just so that we know you're not going to faint, and then you can bail. And they said, this is your phone number. And then Golem came back and said, you will be notified by SMS in 2 hours, 5 hours, 2 days, 5 days. Exactly like that.
Sure.
Exactly like that. And I'm going,
Helpful information.
I am in no fucking way going to ask any questions. I don't give a fuck. I am going to be told one way or the other.
Yeah.
If I'm not told anything, then it's obviously not a problem. If it is a problem, then I'll fucking want to know. And so I say, great. And then I bailed out, and I got out of there. I asked the guy, is there a train station? He told me the train station was over at Princess Park. It was pissing rain. And I got over to Princess Park, and I was just destroyed at this time. I was just completely wiped out. And I thought, I should probably go to the mall and lay in supplies. And I was finally on the train. I was dry, and I'd got my PCR, and everything was good, and I was just relaxed and calm. And then my heart started to go faster.
Oh, no.
And I thought, I can't really breathe well. It's probably just because I've got a cold. So I've hit the ventilator a couple of times and coughed up, and then the heart starts to go faster and faster, and I'm going, it's weird. And then I can't breathe more and more, and then I'm going, that'd be a panic attack then. Yeah, shit. And I'm thinking, no, it's okay, because you've got your emergency panic attack drugs with you. And I'm searching through my pockets and can't find them. And I'm going, don't give yourself a panic attack because you can't find your panic attack drugs.
Can't find your panic attack drugs.
All right. That's not how we handle these things. And I was thinking, okay, you can bust through. Just ignore them all. Just bust through and go home and get into the cage. You've got panic attack drugs there. It's going to be okay. All you need to do is and then I started to get really wobbly on my feet, and I'm going, on my center of axis, and I'm going, you're about to collapse. This is not an okay thing, because the next thing that's going to happen is going to be in fucking hospital, and everything's going to suck mightily from here on out. And I'm going, where's my phone? I've got to get my phone ready to get my emergency numbers up the front, so that when EMTs find me, they can just press the buttons. And just by chance, I managed to find the panic attack drugs, and I'm going, scores. And so I gobbled them down, and I'm like really going, all you've got to do is get off the train at the right station. All you've got to do is get off the train at the right station. All you've got to do is get off the train at the right station. And I get to the right station, and I'm really starting to go, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I could hardly move. I have ingested the drugs by this time, and
Yeah.
quite a number of them, like all of them. I've got like
All the
some
drugs.
all of them are just down in me. And I get off the train, and it's still pissing rain, and there's this cool, cold breeze coming through with the rain, and it sort of took some of the heat out of the panic attack, which was a different sensation anyway. And I'm going, oh, okay, well that's good. Concentration on a different sensations. Yeah, maybe that'll help. And I'm walking through the rain to get to the tram to get to my house, and then as I'm walking to the tram, the
Yes.
panic attack. The drugs kick in,
Yeah.
and the panic attack is gone. It's just gone, right? Because they're not environmental; they're chemical, and we know this because we spent like a fucking year looking for them, right? We spent like a year, me and the GP and the psychologist and the psychiatrist looked through my life for environmental reasons for these panic attacks, and there just weren't any. And for strategies to get through environmental panic attacks. So like, fucking throw me some stress. I can handle it. But this fucking chemical panic attack just went and said, oh, fuck this. There's too many drugs. I'm gone. And I'm going, okay, I will go to the mall after all. I'm on the right tram. I will lay in supplies and I will do the thing. And I just, so I'm cruising down the street, whenever you're a mother or whether you're staying alive, because I'm pretty stoned by this time. And, I've got a paint bucket in my hand. I don't know how I got the paint bucket. Because, those anti panic attack drugs are pretty fucking powerful. And I'm just really ripped by this point and going, yeah, this is what you want drugs to be. And I'm thinking, but don't fuck around because the panic attack is actually still in effect. It's just being masked. Don't, go and get your stuff and get home. Get into the cage and try and get some sleep. And I hadn't been sleeping because I had gone to sleep in my chair, leaned over the arm of the chair, and pinched a nerve, bruised a muscle, and maybe cracked a rib at the same time. And
that's when you do shit like that, yes.
Yeah, and I managed to not sleep for several days. I was giving myself all of the advantages, and so I get home, and I make up my bed, and I get a call from the real estate going, "Can you clean up 2 flats because they're filthy and we've got people moving in?" I go, awkwardness. I am in isolation because I've probably got COVID. And they go, "Oh, can you get it through the phone? Because I don't want to talk to you anymore." And and they went, "Yeah, we'll get Jason to do it." And I went, "Yeah, he'll be so cool with this." You call
like
him.
that will be smooth sailing, trouble free.
Yeah, I'm not calling him. You call him. And he actually, forget the name I just used.
Keep going. Yeah.
Mr. Ozzy basically got smart about it and called 3 other people. And the regular cleaner that they use, and they move the stuff around that they need to move around. And the regular cleaner got in there, and the regular cleaner charged triple the price because the places were just
abominable,
just abominable. And we said, one of them particularly would be just filthy, and the other one was surprisingly bad. Not terrible bad, but pretty surprisingly bad.
Worse than you expected from that person.
Oh yeah, because he's a nice guy. But what happens is that a lot of these international students go, I am going back to India/China on a plane, and I have no interest in taking the shit that I bought in Australia in with me on on a cargo plane. So I'm going to leave it exactly where it is, in exactly the condition it is, because the bond that I paid for this flat will in no way fucking cover any of the expenses that I've got getting home. So I'm just going to fuck off, and they do on a regular basis. They throw a lot of shit out into the skip and
Yeah.
overflow it.
Yeah.
Thanks. And
Yeah.
go on.
Yeah, a variation on that I've seen, because you're working in IT, you get a lot of people contracting who are from countries outside of Australia. A variation I've seen more than once is when they're finally leaving the country and they don't get to come back. And part of the deal is like they got a cab charge to the airport, and they get a cab like with their cousin who's a cab driver, and they just go, well, you slip me $50 and then just keep, I'll sign the cab charge and just keep driving around for another hour after I'm gone.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
and
do the
the
Melbourne
people get the
tour.
thing, it's like, okay, the cab ride should have been $20 and it's come back $150. And
Yeah.
this fucker's out of the country and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, when fuck, they used to do this to comics who used to not get TV shows. They used to say, "Look, we're sorry, but we're not greenlighting your TV show. Here's your cab charge home." It's like, "Oh, okay, thanks." And they would go, "So first we're going off to Healesville, then we're going to the Mornington Peninsula, and then we're going over to Portsea, and then we're going to the Eye, where you'll wait for an hour for lunch, and then, and like the record apparently was a certain smack addicted comic that might be famous.
I bet I know who you're talking about too.
Who might have spent a lot of years in a long sleeve shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, his cab charge came back to $2,500. Apparently, took it a day and a half to make it happen, but he made it happen.
That's what we call revenge.
And yeah, from then for a while there, everyone was calling him Kamikaze Taxi. Which, if you ever get to see that movie, is a fucking phenomenal movie. Hey, Annette, how you doing?
Hey, Annette. No, it's not Husey. Husey is not smack addicted, to the best of my knowledge.
No,
it's just you kind of have to be in the comedy scene to know. But I have no doubt who he's talking about, and to avoid legal repercussions, I'm not going to mention Greg's name. But
no, and I wouldn't say that it reminds me of a lot of ships.
No, and there wasn't a first one that came to Australia. And
no.
We're going to prison. We're going to prison. Because we won't be able to pay the libel findings against us.
No, we haven't said anything. We haven't said anything. We've just said that there was a legend that this happened.
It was a legend. But again,
it was a fucking legend. It was a legend.
The $2,500 cab fee, we're saying that with thumbs up. That's
fucking
like
that is
super
you don't want to give me a fucking TV show? Oh, okay. Well, I'll get my fucking money out of you somehow. Anyway, so I in the morning, which reminds me, in the morning I get a phone call at 7:30, and I'm going, hi, AT, it's us from CoHealth, where you did the PCR yesterday. And I'm going, good. We want you to wipe up some blood? What the fuck's going on? We want you to come in now. Oh, that's a thing. Why? We just want to chat.
We just want to talk.
And I'm going, no, you don't. No doctors ever want to chat to me, ever. That has never happened in my life. And they said, okay, we want to also do some further examination. And I'm going, do you want me to rat before I come in? They said there's really no need. And I'm going, that's worse. That's so much worse. And I'm going, I'm never going to get a root again. And I said, okay, well, I guess I've got to get a shower and I've got to do this and I've got to do that. And they said, no, we're sending you a cab.
Oh,
And
no.
I'm going, I don't have the kind of money for it. No, we're sending you a cab charge. And I'm going, oh, shit. Can you be ready in half an hour? And I'm going, yeah, I can be ready in half an hour. Sure enough, sure as fuck, there's a cab waiting for me in half an hour. Bang, straight there. And I turn up, there's like 15 people waiting. Nah. AD, come straight in, mate.
Front of the line.
There's a golem woman is sitting in the corner in either medical clothing or a muumuu, I don't know. And basically she says nothing but glares at me the whole time. And they basically give me 3 tests with 3 different coloured gels in the bottom. And I'm going, okay, what's going on? And they said, right, this is what's happened, is that you don't have COVID, we think.
Well, that's good.
We think. Right? But what we think has happened is you've had COVID, but you've had a strain that has no symptoms. And it's basically, you've not even noticed you've had it. It's been through and gone. And they said thousands of Australians have actually had this. But what it does is it buggers up tests all over the place. And, you might have even passed it on and they wouldn't have even known you've had it. It's a particular strain. And I went, well, that's awkward. And they went, well, it is, because once you've had COVID once, the next time you get COVID, because there's no immunity, because the strains are all different, there's no immunity. The next time you get it, it's worse. And the next time you get it, it's worse. And the next time you get it, it's fatal. No one's had it more than 3 times. And I went, that's not a good thing to hear. No. And they said, how many boosters did you have? And I said, 4. And they said, have 5. Went,
right.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Shit.
Just pump this boy full of drugs.
And they said, yeah, we'll let you know in the next today how it goes. Nothing. Next day, nothing. This afternoon, AZ, you don't have COVID.
Hurrah.
Yes. You've had COVID, but you don't have COVID. And I'm gone, so what does this mean? And it says, well, did you, as you use one of his notes on COVID? Oh, fuck, I'm not sure, Suffer. Fuck. Well, I don't know. I'll have to ask next time I die. How many is that now? 7. It'll be 8. Oh,
what
next
you're saying
one's
about
9.
those recurring infections, it's like there's a recent thing that said if you get COVID, there's a 2 to 4% chance of complications. If you get it again, that chance of complications doubles. If you get it again, it doubles. So again, your chance, each time you get COVID, the chance of complications goes up exponentially.
That's right.
Which is not great. It's not good news. It's not good news.
And if you're immunocompromised, like some pricks, some bastards we don't know, like if you were some fag who had fucking chemotherapy in his past life.
It's like you have all the profile of someone having AIDS without having AIDS. You're that level of immunocompromised.
It's wildly fucked. I cannot, bug chasers come after me and say, can I have it? And I go, well, no. You can have the symptoms of having AIDS, without I can't give them to you.
It's not the
you
same
know,
thing. It's just the same practical effect.
I can bareback the shit out of you, but you'll get nothing for it except for a sore bot.
Apart from hot, sweaty sex, and hey.
And a rusty trombone. That's the dirtiest thing I've ever heard of.
Apparently monkeypox is now the latest thing to worry about if you're barebacking. So, because that's the most common transmission vector, unprotected sex. So, there you go.
Unprotected gay sex.
That's the highest risk transmission vector, but just generally, unprotected sex is a high risk transmission vector.
But unfortunately, again, they found out once again that your cut individuals are a much lower transmission vector, and it started the fight all over again. And I just like, oh God, I don't want to know. I just please just leave me out of it. I just don't want to. I don't want to. I actually had to ring up my doctor because a friend girl of mine who I love dearly, has a boyfriend who I am fucking convinced plays away on her. Yeah. He's not one of the Cut Brotherhood. Anyway,
speaking about disease vectors, okay.
I said to her, and she said, "Oh, he doesn't like to have shower before having sex." And I said, "Okay, so here's what's going to happen for the rest of your time together: is you're going to artfully, skillfully, and lovingly pull down his foreskin and check out everything that's underneath there. If you see anything that looks like a mushroom, you're going to stop." Like little mushrooms, just stop. If he complains about pissing razor blades, you just stop. And she said, "Yeah, I didn't see that, but the other day it was really weird. I was having a look, and there was this really big pimple on the top of the head of his dick." And went, "How big?" And she went, "Oh, bigger than a 10-cent piece, almost like a 10-cent piece." And I went, and I'm going, oh fuck.
No,
and I'm going, because that is the first sign of syphilis.
Yeah, really big chankers. Yeah,
it's the first sign of syphilis. They don't hurt, right? And you can miss them if you can't see them. You can miss them, and I've gone, what you're going to do is you're going to take yourself and him down to the clinic. And even if you say you're playing away, you've got to get him there and you've got to get you there. It's fucking, these days, it's just fucking, it's antibiotics. Seriously, it's antibiotics. It'll cure it, right? Yeah. But if you leave it, it's brain damage. Yeah. And fucking having ulcers coming out of your bones. Okay? And it's hellish. Your fucking skin and nose will fall off. Okay?
Yes, that was like late 19th, early 20th century shit. Soft tissue, nose cartilage, and soft palate melts. And so you have a hole in the middle of your face and a hole at the top of your mouth. It's not good.
And whole fucking, cheeks fucking just ripping apart. This is why they had this always like white fucking makeup on. Was basically to plaster their face back together, and a silver nose, which was then
they
covered
had
over
prosthetics for a nose. Yeah,
just
that's not good.
Horrific. And of course, then they go nuts. They reckon Captain Cook's last voyage, where he was ill prepared, he was basically ordering his men badly, and he died in Hawaii, obviously. His first two voyages were apparently par excellence, fucking so prepared, so smooth, so cool. All his men came home. He discovered so much fucking new world for the British Empire, blah, blah, blah. But the last voyage was a fucking shit fight, apparently.
And we're saying it was syphilis?
They were saying, yeah, he probably caught syphilis.
Yeah. Oh, because his whole crew were like horrible, like fucking child rapists. It's in his fucking journals. It's just terrible.
Yeah. And he apparently wasn't into hitting up the natives for root around, but apparently when he went home, he was at an Admiralty party where they had entertainment for the evening, and the entertainment for the evening was a shitload of piss, and the women from the parks came in. So he probably caught syphilis from one of the prostitutes that came in.
He didn't catch it on his voyages. He probably spread it on his
voyages, but he caught it at home. And then by the time he went on his third voyage, he was starting to get into the tertiary.
Because it actually melts your brain.
It actually melts your brain,
damaging you physically, but it turns your brain into Swiss fucking cheese.
The thing about Cook, and this is the thing that's tragic, because the thing about Cook was he was very deeply, because when he was a kid, he joined up as a cabin boy, and he saw.
He wasn't aristocracy, was he?
No, he was a farm boy. He talked in a Yorkshire accent, just like Shakespeare. Can you imagine Shakespeare going, "Oh, Romeo, where art thou for you, Romeo? No, your son climbs in west. What's going on there then? I'm from Leeds, me. Because he was from Newcastle. Weird. Shakespeare talking like a northerner. Weird.
Sorry,
I
love that thing from Dr. Abigail. Didn't Henry VIII have it as well? What, a Yorkshire accent or syphilis?
Syphilis, no. Henry VIII did not have syphilis. Henry VIII had diabetes, and he had kidney failure.
Yeah. Oh, God, you look at his portraits. There's young Henry VIII, and then there's middle-aged Henry VIII. He did not age well. There were issues. If
you look at his legs in his older portraits, he's clearly got cellulitis. His legs are swollen to fuck, and they're squeezed into these shoes, and his cheeks are down here, and fat was seen as a sign of wealth, but at the same time with Henry, what had happened was he had basically got himself diabetes because he hadn't looked after himself physically, and they didn't know what diabetes did to you, except for kill you. Now, if you're the king,
which is what it did, it killed you.
Yeah. Right. If you're the king, you've got the best doctors in the world keeping you alive. So when he was getting constipation, they were giving him enemas to clear out his bowels. When he was not getting nutrition, they were getting no, Shakespeare was from Strathclyde, so he would have had a Birmingham accent. Fair enough, Laura.
Okay, are we saying that's better? A Brummie accent is better?
I'm not going into this fight. I'm not.
Laura is highlighting that's a Brummie accent is very fucking strong.
This was where I was going with that. I was going, I'm not.
Do you remember Rick Mail and Aid Edmondson did a few things after the Young Ones, notably Bottom was very successful.
Yeah.
They had one, I just remember one episode where they were in trouble and, oh God, what was Edmondson's character called? I forget. But anyway, he was like the gross, practical one, and Rick Mail's character was the faux upper class one. And when Aid Edmondson says, like, we're in trouble with the cops, we need to just bribe the cops so we get away with this. And Rick Mail goes, we can't just bribe a policeman. We're in England, not Birmingham.
That's right. That's right.
At which
That's
point a cop pops in and says, "Shut up, you," and talks to Aid Edmondson. How much are you offering?
Yeah. It was called.
You get some very funny stuff on YouTube because they took Bottom on live tours, and they would just lose their shit on stage. There are some very funny videos on YouTube shot of their live shows where there's theoretically a script, but they fucking lose it, and one or the other attacks the other one, and it's like, "Fuck you, get back on script." And it's just
there was one beautiful one where they were both in a boat. For some reason, they were both in a boat, and the boat's being lowered down, and then the boat kinks, and the lights go skew, and clearly everything stopped, right? And you can see sort of in the background stagies trying to fix things, and they're going, "Well, that's buggered that then, hasn't it?" "Yes." "Well, BBC, I think it's time for some complaint." When
When
the BBC finally used its license money, and they improvised this whole 5-minute complaint letter to the BBC while they're trying to fix the set of this show, and the audience is shitting themselves, and they're obviously tossing each other grenades as they're going. And they're going, "Yeah, no, fuck you. We've been on tour for fucking 18 months. I know you're fucking game. I know you're fucking game." And they're finally getting out fucking bazookas and shooting them at each other. And then the boat goes down. They're going, "Should we get back on script?" No.
Again, this shit's on YouTube. You should look it up. Bottom line on YouTube.
And then
hilarious.
And then Mayall goes, "No." They're fucking back into it, and then finally the boat goes down, and then somebody with a piece of paper in their hand, like a rolled up piece of paper, comes up and whisper, "Yeah, right. Producer said we gotta go back to work now." And then back on script.
Yeah. And I agree with Safa. Your goatee is looking particularly sexy tonight.
I was going to give it a shave.
Not now. It's looking very robust.
Not now. I'm leaving it as it is, I think.
So a Yorkshire accent and a Newcastle or Geordie accent. Yeah. I mean, Laura, we know you travel 5 miles in England and you get a different fucking accent.
Well, I had a really interesting Patrick Stewart interview where he was discussing that the town he was from had a different language to just the Yorkshire accent. It wasn't just the accent; it just wasn't the accent; it was the language.
Oh yeah, they have their own words and their own.
And he said, it wasn't just accent, dude. It was language. You go 5 miles and it's a different language, and it just go, okay, I can go to Queensland, and while it's difficult to understand, Queenslanders try and prove the flat Earth and prove that bulls can fly because it's Queensland. It's difficult. Yeah. You can actually understand them if you're from Australia. If you're from Britain, you can't necessarily understand a Scotsman from the Highlands.
And I said this on a recent stream. AJ, have you been to New Zealand?
Yes.
Provincial accents in New Zealand are fucking unintelligible. Mrs. Angry and I went there 10 years ago, and we ran into some guy in a campground from Dunedin, which was the part of New Zealand that was settled by Scots.
Yes.
He was fucking unintelligible. We had no idea what he was saying. It was absolutely fucking surreal.
I had a really good New Zealand friend who was a comic, and he took me to New Zealand. He was about to become ordained as a Buddhist priest. Now, part of the thing about being ordained as a Buddhist priest in their tradition is that you spend 2 to 3 weeks in the world, with the baddest man you know, to show you the temptations of the world and go, can you leave all that behind? Can you leave all that behind? will you leave all that behind? And I was the guy he chose. Nice. It's nice to be thought of like that. Anyway, so we did this thing, and we went to some different places in New Zealand. We went to sort of New Zealand tour, North Island mostly, but there were some places in the North Island where I was listening to people talk, and I was going, I'm having trouble understanding these people. I've got the New Zealand vowel structure down, which is and basically, you know, that's all the New Zealand vowels you need is and that's how you make all New Zealand words. And what this guy said is, some of the words that these people use are native words, not native words. Fuck, don't say native. Jesus, don't say native. Maori words. Maori words. Don't fuck that up either. And I'm going, right, okay, that makes sense, because that would make no sense to me, because I would never have heard that before. But because it makes more sense to use a term of art that is local, you get a whole synthesis of concepts that's compressed into a word, and it's easy to use that one word. You hear it all the time in Australia with people who use different languages in Melbourne, and you hear the odd English word because it's just compresses a whole bunch of concepts into one. And English is that language that steals words from other languages anyway, because it's useful.
Mugs other languages down dark alleys and then goes through their pockets for loose grammar.
For loose grammar, yeah. Oh, I like that.
Little bit of French, lot of German, a bit of the Romance languages from Central Europe. It's, you know,
even a bit of Japanese occasionally. You know, I like that. You just take something,
you like it, you take it. I like this one from Laura. Manchester has two accents: the Lancastrian accent, which is like Yorkshire, the Scallywag, which is what the Gallaghers speak in. I kind of thought they spoke in their own thing, but I'm because I think Laura is from or is living in Manchester. I don't know. Let's see. But yes, the Gallaghers, they're a whole thing. Hey, dude, sorry, very brief aside. I have a couple projects running while the stream is happening. This one, I'm just going to explain to you because I might occasionally go, look at that beautiful red color. Okay, what that is, it's blood orange season has just started here. And so I got some blood oranges from the supermarket. And what I did is I peeled them. So that's like an orange peel, but with very red peel. Covered it in sugar. And then the sugar, through a magical process, leaches the oils out of the peel and turns into a syrup. And after that for 2 days, then I added the juice from the blood oranges. And so I had a nice liquid. And now I'm milk clarifying that because it's very acidic because it's orange juice. I add it to milk and it separates into curds and whey, which then clarifies it out. So what we've got here that I've almost finished doing, this is a blood orange cordial. And I've made this before and it's fucking awesome. It tastes so good. So it's like, it's citrusy, it's acidic, it's got the oils from the peel, and it's got sugar. It's just fucking killer.
Would you bring that funnel down a little bit so I could see it in the camera more easily?
Oh, okay. So what? Oh, yeah.
Right.
Look, okay, look in there. See how that's pink? That's the milk and stuff. So that's really pink. But once it filters, it's this really clear red.
When you hold it up like that,
yeah.
Okay, mentally, all I saw was a sphere with a hole cut in it, and I thought, you've got plastic labware. and
Yeah.
I just thought, okay, that's starting to get a little bit.
It is very that's just a coffee filter, a paper coffee filter.
No,
And it
I
catches
know
all
it's
the
I know that is, but what it looked like was
Yeah.
a vacuum separator filter from the. Hi, Rakazan, how you doing? And not for long, by the way. I'm running out of spoons, big time. Also, the beard game on this stream is a bit. Thank you. I've been told twice the beard is the go. I'm serious. I was seriously thinking of getting rid of it, but no.
It looks pretty good. But I mean, variety's the spice of life as well.
True. And I won't be doing anything for a week anyway, because whilst I have got COVID, I do feel like I've been run over by a truck. You've got a conical thing there.
This is my other project. Okay, so this is a double wall insulated. It's a giant double wall insulated coffee cup, but that lets me make clear ice because it does directional freezing. I fill it with water and put it in the freezer, and it can't freeze from the sides because of the insulation. So it freezes from the top down, which pushes all the air and impurities down. So you get this beautiful clear ice, which looks super, like that's a little bit of my clear ice is still left. It looks super sexy.
Nice.
So I have these projects happening during the stream. I'm waiting. And again, because this is rigid, like if you have a plastic ice cube tray, you twist it to get the ice out. This is fucking metal, so I can't twist it. So I literally have to wait for it to melt, which usually takes a couple of hours. So I'm like a bit over an hour into the stream, and I got that out just before the stream. It'll take, I don't know, another half hour to an hour for that to slide out. And then I'll cut the ice into pieces and put it into discrete little plastic bags and keep it in the freezer so I can have sexy drinks with clear ice in them.
I saw a thing on one of those, we like to do backyard physics, YouTube things.
Yes.
And what they did was they were playing with ice, and they were playing with they wanted ice in metal buckets, right?
Yes.
And I think it was something similar. They wanted the rigidity of it. And they wanted the bubbles to go in a certain way, and the way that they did it was they had two choices. They could either get the blowtorch on it, but they didn't want to do that because then they would lose the shape. So the other way they did it was they got a spinning fan a motor. Yeah. Right. Then they got the electrical wires from the motor and wrapped it around the base of the bucket. Yeah. And then they put the motor onto the power source. Now, they said that it's not the vibrations from the fan motor that's doing it; it's the electromagnetic AC current from the electricity. It's going back and forth through the bucket rim that's shaking the bucket in an oscillation. And because they had the ability to turn up and down the power, they had a dimmer switch on it. It was just a simple dimmer switch, and they had the ability to turn the thing up and down. They could put the electricity through, and you could see the fucking bucket shake, and the whole thing went ploop. And they got like 5 or 10 buckets of ice, ploop, 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 out in about 10 minutes. It was really fast. And then they thermite through the lot of them.
Thermite, okay.
It was fucked up in a serious fashion because they drilled a hole into the ice, then they put the thermite in, and then they lit the thermite, and then they ran away, which they should have done because it all blew up.
Very fast.
It blew up big time. And what they were trying to prove was whether the thermite was so hot that it stripped the oxygen off the hydrogen and then recombined and blew up, or it heated up the water so fast that there was a flash steam explosion.
Yeah.
And to this day, there are still scientific papers about it.
Still arguing the point. But there's been some fun things in chat. Laura saw a bunch of Asian guys having a street brawl, screamed at each other in Urdu, but the swearing's all in English, which is nice.
Best way, easiest way. Yeah. It's compact. It's with a beard like that, you can move to New Zealand, become a dwarf.
Next Lord of the Rings.
I'd have to grow a foot. How are you both? Well, Ruckerson, I'm fucked.
Basically.
Yes, I'm
Dr.
sure
Abigail, Thermite's pretty amazing. There's some very
I do too. That's the trouble.
You.
I'm not allowed to love it anymore for the next 6 months to a year, I think. The police have told me.
Not that it's thermite, and I don't remember if we recorded this for a video, but I remember in the deep dark past in your old place when you were still married, playing around with Condi's crystals, potassium permanganate, and glycerin, which then forms a reaction, an exothermic reaction, and goes, which is always fun. You get two incredibly neutral seeming things and just mix them together and magic happens. And
if you mix different chemicals with them, more magic happens. Sometimes in a runaway sequence, which is what I was looking to. And that was when my thermite experiments had to stop, according to the police.
It's kind of like you get this stuff on like 4chan and whatnot with someone saying, hey, I found a great way to clean my microwave. You put this, this, and this in a bowl and turn the microwave on. And about 90% of the people reading it go, you're being a prick. That's a chlorine bomb, where you actually create deadly chlorine gas if you combine those things and heat them up. But what they do is they all comment under the post, this is friggin' awesome. My microwave was filthy and this cleaned it and it looks new. And there's 10 comments going, this is awesome and works perfectly. And then the 11th comment is, fuck all of you. I actually did this. Fuck all of you.
I've seen, do you remember and this is a lot of years ago now, right? Do you remember the iPhone M? The iPhone M was a really very well done advertising campaign by 4chan. Was you could recharge your iPhone in the microwave.
Oh yeah, no, that was that again. Same deal, yeah. Recharge your iPhone in the microwave.
There were so many videos of fucking kids who did it. And you hear these horrible little turd kids laughing behind the camera as their fucking friends destroy their iPhone in the microwave. Yeah. And you go, you little fucks. And but the actual advertising material they put out for it was really professionally done. It was really cleverly done. It had the right font. It had the right fucking copy. It had everything done well. So and they fucked up.
A lot of people with a lot of time of their hands on 4chan.
I just evil bastards. And too much B, man. Too much B.
But it was the same thing. There'd be 10, 20 comments like, yeah, I did this and it works. It's fucking awesome. This is the best. And then somewhere down the list is someone going, fuck all of you. I actually fucking fell for this and did it. Fuck all of you. You are fucking evil.
I remember being an innocent before popped my cherry when I was watching the log of a message board, and this kid comes in while there's two guys having a chat and says, "Oh, I'm trying to get this thing done." And they go, "Oh, okay, try Alt F4." And of course, he does it, and it just shut everything down, and I had to come back in. Oh, right, we'll try it again. And then they did Control Alt F4, and then they said Escape Control. What's the other one? Escape Control. What was Escape Control Delete, and finally this kid figures out what's going on, and came back and went, "Fuck you, you're all assholes." Like,
there's a story that went around in the 90s from some Microsoft presentation that someone said they built a voice interface for a Windows PC, and it had a DOS prompt, and you could say a command and it would run it, and it's presenting to this room full of nerds. So yes, the voice command, you can make it do it. And so someone who is within range of the computer shouts, "Format C : enter," and then someone else yells, "Yes, enter," which is, okay, for those who don't know, that's reformatting the main hard drive, which is fucking killing the computer.
Yes.
But if you do that, if you say format the C drive, it's saying, "Are you sure you want to do this? Yes, no." And so the first person saying format C : enter is running the command to reformat the hard drive and fuck it.
And then
the second
question, do you really want to do this?
The person yelling "Yes, enter" is confirming it. But yes,
bastards.
So Rukusan remembers old Merc days, Deltree. Various. You could trick people into running various commands, and
that was done to someone while in the middle of the writing hour. It came back and they were furious. Yes. I can imagine they would.
Okay.
I can imagine they would.
Rukusan, the same story. Yeah. It's and I don't know if it's real or if it's apocryphal, but it's funny. And that's what
one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and I have actually seen this on YouTube, was fucking Bill Gates was up there going, the new, I think it was a DOS by that point. I don't think it was 8.6 yet. It's like, the new the DOS system's great and blah blah blah, and it's got this and it's got that, and blue screen of death. And
yes, no, I saw him get a blue screen on a live thing,
and he saw it and he went, and there was no, he wasn't laughing. Nobody was laughing, and he said, "Okay, we're going to have a break and come back," and the whole fucking screen goes black, and it was like, and as it was going black, you hear him start to yell.
Yeah.
Because
apparently he was brutal as fuck. When he was actually operational in Microsoft, he was brutal as fuck.
Well, because the thing was, he was one of the few bosses in Silicon Valley that knew how to surf, right?
Yeah.
He was one of the few guys who knew what the fuck was going on. He could actually develop and be a businessman, right? And when his developers fucked up, he used to fucking tear their nuts out. And that was only the girls. And he used to kick your balls through your nose if you fucked up. And you were being paid enough.
There was a website, and I just looked it up. It's still there, Joel on Software. It's a guy called Joel Spolsky. He was an original 90s Microsoft programmer. And he had a post from way back. My first Bill G evaluation, because when you were a programmer and you were working on something, you then had to present to Gates. And it's not like, as you're saying, it's not like an average CEO. Gates was an engineer and a programmer, and he would know arcane shit. And if you couldn't answer it, he would just fucking eviscerate you. And this guy, Joel Spolsky, is working on Excel, and Excel has some super fucking weird anomalies in it, which is due to super weird anomalies in dates. And when this guy, when he'd been working on it, he's going like, "Oh God, if you go past here, there's some weird thing where the calendar was readjusted and it'll all fuck up. And he's working with people going, Jesus
I
Christ,
remember this.
this is
I remember
weird.
this.
Yeah. And
I remember
so
what happened too.
he knew about it and he'd been working on it. And but anyway, so he has to do his first presentation to Bill Gates. And he's going, I was doing this. And Gates said, you better fucking know about blah, blah, blah. And this guy goes, oh, yeah, we need to accommodate blah, 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 blah. And Gates, because this was the most weird arcane glitch in Excel. And Gates thought no one knows this. And he went in and said, you better fucking know how to fix this. And he went, oh, yeah, we have to accommodate blah, 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 blah. And Gates went, and then he said during the presentation, which went for an hour, about 3 times, Gates just muttered "fuck" under his breath over something that he's working on, and this guy's just going, "I'm just keeping going." Just that seemed bad.
Go, just keep going.
Finished,
just keep going.
And then away, and the other senior executives, when he said like, "I really didn't like it when I said something," and he muttered "fuck." And they just went, oh, my God, 3 fucks in 1 hour? That's like a record. Your average presenter gets a fuck every second minute. So they get like anywhere between 10 and 30 fucks in an hour because they'll just say something and he'll just go, and he just thinks you're an idiot because you said it. And he just goes, fuck. The fact you only got 3 in an hour, that's basically a record.
Yeah, you've got a promotion. You're going well. And there was another time where there was an Intel rep at Microsoft. Microsoft had called the Intel rep in and said, there's this thing that's happened in the logic of the arithmetic, what do they call it? Buffer, arithmetic buffer that has this weird thing to do with division. And this fucking Intel rep said, "Oh, it's such a rare case. No one will ever notice it." And apparently, Gates lost his fucking mind.
He wants
and
it to happen.
said,
Never, not rarely.
And he turned to his people and said, "Get AIM on the phone now," and walked out of the room. And the Intel rep said, "I'm about to lose $4 billion worth of chips." Fuck.
Yeah.
And he got on the phone and said, "Can we fix this now?" And the Intel people said, "We're going to have to lose about $2 billion worth of stuff, but if we're going to lose $4 billion worth of Microsoft work, then we will quite happily do it." And by the end of the day, they had a chip that was specially made and then fucking jetted over. It was still hot. It was actually still fucking hot, and stuck in the motherboard. And they said to Gates, "Yeah, we think we fixed it." And they were actually blowing it down with hairdryers before they stuck it in a machine, and said, "Yeah, we think we fixed it." And Gates went, "Okay, can you get that up to production?" And they went, "Yes." And they went, "Okay, good." And
for all his flaws, and his flaws are many, Gates knew engineering and programming. And again, Dr. Abel talking about Excel, I knew that one too. Yes, there was a version of Excel where there's an Easter egg where if you put the right thing in the right cell, it would do this whole flight sim thing, which was trippy as fuck.
Yeah.
And Rick saying Dead Mouse used the blue screen of death as part of his live show, which is cool. So that was the 90s. The stuff we're talking about happened in the 90s. That was when Microsoft controlled the fucking world, and literally everyone trembled in their boots if Microsoft did or said anything. Now, Microsoft's still a big company that makes lots of money, but they can't scare anyone anymore. But there was in the 90s, if Microsoft paid attention to what you were doing, you were fucking dead because they were going to destroy you and
or
take
buy
over.
you.
Everyone was terrified of Microsoft in the 90s because they were
either going to step on you and crush you or buy you. It was one or the other. And
buy you was good. but
Bayou
they
was
would
good,
destroy people.
but your business life was over because you had to sign a 10-year agreement to never work on that again for 10 years, which meant you're gone. And basically you had to retrain yourself, and you had 10 years and lots of money, so you'd be right. You were either going to get bored or crushed. And there were so many stories of people going, "Oh, I'm going to take him to court because it's my thing and I love it." And nah, don't.
The biggest one was obviously Netscape Navigator, which was, again, they were found criminal in breach of law for what they did with Netscape Navigator, but they did destroy the company Netscape. No, we still have Mozilla. Firefox is a very successful browser now, but they did destroy the company Netscape.
Netscape was crushed because basically they kept them in court for so long that Netscape just went, we cannot make enough profit to continue operations and this lawsuit. But we can't stop the lawsuit, because if we stop the lawsuit, we will all go to jail. In about 2001, 2002, received a Windows update. It did nothing at all except prevent Netscape from working. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
And that was the funny thing. When Netscape was destroyed by Microsoft and it became the free software foundation, it seemed like bullshit. And I was like, and because nothing happened for years, for like 5-10 years. But out of the ashes, Firefox rose.
Didn't it rise?
Yeah.
Didn't it rise? And didn't it just fucking eat Explorer? Explorer looked awful compared to Firefox. No one used Explorer after Firefox. Firefox was the only platform. And
I saw an animation recently that showed browser market share from the 90s through to now. It was a magnificent little bit of animation, because there's a period in the 90s where Netscape has 90% of the market. And then you get this rapid change where then Explorer has 95% of the market. And then Firefox comes in and eats away. And then Google Chrome comes in and absolutely fucking
just crunch.
And now Microsoft, what's the Microsoft one now? Edge. They're desperately trying to get people to use it, and it's not making any serious inroads.
Edge is basically a Chrome copy, and they've said,
absolutely.
They've basically said they've used all of the Chrome freeware to make Edge so that it'll play nicely, because what they're all looking to do is they're all looking toward the Musk fucking Skylink thing, right? And they're all looking, okay, where does all this come from? All this comes from American telecommunications market. Australian telecommunications market is very different to the American telecommunications market. Australian telecommunications market, while not amazing, is not fucked. The American telecommunications market is surprisingly fucked. To get a telephone call from one side of the country to the other side of the country is expensive and bullshit. All of the poles and wires are laid. All they are asking you to do is pay me money for data that they don't have to. Australia's moving more and more toward Wi-Fi, because NBN was a really good idea that died in the womb, that was aborted by the pro-life lobby. And basically, when G5 comes out, Wi-Fi is going to be destructively disruptive. And so that's what that's going to go toward. Now, in America, they've got all these really weird laws and caveats that basically say you must use this bit of the network and you must use that bit of it. You're not allowed to have a monopoly, but it's a monopoly. And so Google said, hey, look, we want to send data for free for books. We want books to go for free. We want the free library. And the phone company said no. And and they said, but it's free. It's not going to cost you anything. It's going to cost you nothing. We will host it. All we're asking is for spare space on your lines just to get the books across, right? And the phone company said no. And you don't want to upset Google because they're childish. They get nasty.
They can hurt people. Yeah.
They can hurt people, and they kick people's teeth in. And so they went, well, fuck you. We're going to make our own phone system. And they sort of started, but it didn't sort of fly. And then they have obviously made a deal with Musk, who's sent up Skylink. What's going to happen with Skylink is there's going to be effectively no terrestrial-based phone lines. So anyone with anything like a fucking modem is going to be able to get into a free network and get into free Chrome and get free data and pay for Google ads. And the phone companies can go fuck themselves. And Google has been looking to do this for years. And they've put a lot of money into it. And so has Musk. And it's coming. It's part of the reason why Australia is pushing 5G so quickly, because if we don't, we're going to get squashed. And we would like to get into that. Thank you very much. And Edison Bell, fucking Western Telegraph, what are the other some of the phone companies?
Yeah, there's a couple of them in the US. But I mean, also, I do want to throw in the disclaimer about Musk. Musk is a liar and a charlatan who talk big talk and never delivers on it. And also, his plans for Starlink stand a real chance of absolutely fucking up astronomy, absolutely fucking up other satellite communications that the rest of us rely on to feed his ego and his wealth. So I always want to throw in, Elon Musk is a steaming pile of shit. And if he accidentally fell headfirst into a wood chipper, humanity would overall be better off.
But I'll tell you what,
he's a fucking piece of shit.
Whilst you're most probably right, I would prefer to see Bezos go in first.
Oh yeah, no, they're evil pieces of shit in different ways. They are both absolutely fucking reprehensible. It manifests in slightly different ways. But
the more I hear about Bezos, the worse.
Oh no, the fact that again, when people say like, how radical are your politics, and I'm like, well, the billionaires should be in prison until every single person in the supply chain who creates their wealth that they think they earned, every single person in the supply chain should live a happy and full life based on their labor. And until every single person in the supply chain is leading that happy and full life, the billionaires should be in fucking prison because they are stealing and subjugating people. And yeah, okay, Bezos is probably worse on that front than Musk. But Bezos also keeps his...
Not probably, mate.
Yeah,
probably.
Bezos also keeps his stupid, ugly little head out of the public sphere compared to the way Musk insists on thrusting his stupid fucking square head into the public sphere. And that's probably why I bristle a bit at Musk, because he insists on putting himself in the public sphere. Bezos tries to hide, because if people knew the true evil of Bezos, it would literally be a rising up of pitchforks and torches and dragging him into the town square to face the justice of the people. It's that simple.
It's coming. It's coming.
Oh, there has never been a period in history that had this level of imbalance of wealth, that had this level of exploitation, that did not result in the oligarchy being dragged into the town square to face the justice of the people.
I tell you what else frightens me a little bit is the kleptocracies are starting to come unstuck.
Yeah. It's unsustainable.
The Russian kleptocracy again is starting to come unstuck. I was stunned at the Ukraine invasion.
How fucking strange is that?
It was badly planned. It was like, okay, didn't you watch America just fuck up for the last 15 years? Didn't you just watch that? Didn't you just watch yourself fuck up Afghanistan and then watch America fuck up Afghanistan? And now you're doing it again. Didn't you just see that happen?
Yeah.
You wrote history before it happened, and then you went along and did it, and now all of a sudden you're out of toy.
Yeah.
Even the Americans knew I have to make enough bullets and bombs to keep this going. The Russians didn't even bother to make enough bullets and bombs to keep it going.
Yeah. There's a sarcastic phrase that goes, a short victorious war, that all throughout history you've seen despots, basically totalitarian despots, say, I'll improve my public standard by doing a little invasion on these people we don't like, and we'll fuck them up. It'll be over quickly. It'll be a victory. It'll be a big PR thing. It'll increase nationalism, and everyone will love it. And it 9 times out of 10 it fucks up. Something goes wrong. And so it's become this sarcastic term, a short victorious war. It's like, I'll just do this little invasion. It'll go flawlessly and everyone will love me.
The meme today is mission accomplished.
Yes. The George Bush thing,
George Bush sitting on a character going, mission accomplished. No, George.
Right in the middle of how badly Iraq was fucking up.
Not even in the middle, at the beginning of how bad it got. I'm
doing a quick toilet break. You keep going.
Well, okay, so we're seeing the thing that bothers me is that we're seeing Russia turn around and come unstuck as a kleptocracy. And we're seeing China turn around and go, all right, I'm going to take advantage of this somehow. There's 2 ways that they can take advantage of it. They can take advantage of it by going and catching all the islands that they reckon are theirs, except if they do that, they're going to get nuked. So they're probably not going to do that. The other way to do that is that they're going to turn on Russia. If they do that, basically they're going to do the same thing as Russia, as Japan did, which was they're going to get stuck in this never-ending fight that goes on and on and on and on and on, and sucks all the cash and all the fucking energy out of them. And they're just going to basically throw their main resource, which is their people, into this fucking meat grinder for years and years and years and years and years. And effectively, they're going to when I say kleptocracy, what I mean is we're talking about states that are set up to have the top few people steal from the rest of the population. And I'm not talking about the American way, the corporate way. I'm talking about kleptocracy's angry.
Oh, the klept. Oh my God, you should read or listen to the most recent William Gibson trilogy, which is set about 100 years in the future. something happens about now, our time, that in retrospect is called the jackpot. But it's bad. It's because to get a jackpot on a slot machine, multiple unlikely things have to happen at the same time. They all line up, you get the jackpot. This one was multiple things lined up at once to create a disaster, and it's climate change, it's war, it's famine, it's whatnot. And it resulted in 90% of everything on Earth dying. Every species and humans, 90% of humans died. But they've rebuilt, and of course, with a smaller population, everyone has more resources and whatnot, but governments collapsed and the Russian klept took over because they were the most ruthless people left alive. And so in this world, the klept is running things, and it's fun. It's also, I think the first one's called the peripheral, because there are these things in computers that might be real and no one's completely sure where they came from. It's like alternate timelines, and you can put VR peripheral devices on and then go and be in these worlds. And they're so complex, they might be real.
This is one of Gibson's favorite things.
Oh, he loves that shit. And this one is great. Because it's so complex, because these people go into these environments, and the people you're following in the stories, they treat these environments like they're real. And what happens, you can go back in time, but when you drop in on someone, that's it. You're there, and now it's moving in real time with you. So you can't go back again. You drop into one of these splinters, and that's it. Then you're following in real time with them. So they drop back to our time to see if they can help the people in these splinters to not face the disaster that they faced. But yeah, it keeps going forward. Once you're in one of these threads, it keeps going forward in real time. So they're trying to, like, there was a critical event where a US president was assassinated, and they're like, can we get people who are influential enough to come together and stop that from happening? Because that was one of the big dominoes that led to the jackpot. And it's fascinating. It's really fascinating.
So what I was saying to the good peeps was, okay, because of Russia's massive fuck up, and Russia's one of the massive kleptocracies at the moment, and there's a difference between a kleptocracy and the corporatocracies. Like, America's the big corporatocracy, right? The corporates are basically the very rich people, but they're sort of got some checks and some balances about them. Only some, but some. The kleptocracies have none. No checks, no balances. It's the actual thieves that are in charge. It's like New South Wales.
Yeah,
right.
The early Gibsons are the corporate ones. Particularly, it was the idea that Japanese companies might take over the world. That was 80s, 90s thinking. And and you're right. They still follow the rules of corporations. But the klept in the peripheral and subsequent ones, they are a law unto themselves. There are no government. There's no government. It's the klept.
There's no government. It's the kleptocracy. So you've got China, Russia, Korea, and basically this block of land of kleptocracies. Now, what's just happened is Russia is looking very much like, if they keep going the way they're going to implode. Now, this is going to set up China to go one of two ways. They're going to be basically freed from having to help out Russia doing anything. A lot of the Middle East is going to fall over because their Russian money is going to stop. basically China is going to go after, because they're another kleptocracy, right? They've stopped
China's going after
pretending.
Africa.
Well, China's stopped pretending that they're the people's anything anymore. They're now the kleptocracy. The top people own everything, and you the rest of you can go and work or fucking die. And effectively, China can either go after all these islands that it wants back, except if they do that, they're going to get nuked, and they know that. Or they can go after Russia. And if they go after Russia, they're going to get a whole bunch more resources that they don't then have to ask anyone else for. But if they do that, they're going to get caught in the same trap as Japan was when they went after China, which was they're going to get caught in this multi-decade war that won't stop, that will keep going, that will put their people through a meat grinder. And kleptocracy's major resource is people. They can put millions and millions and millions of people through the meat grinder and not care. Because it doesn't matter. They're not worth anything. They're only worth the product of their labour. The skilled people are kept out of the shit, and the unskilled people are put through the grinder. And that was how they fought Stalingrad, and aren't they proud?
Stalingrad, what a fucking nightmare that was.
And basically, it's going to be a very fucked time to be in North Korea. It's going to be a very fucked time to be in South Korea. It's going to be an excellent time to be in Japan, because Japan's not going to want for anything. If Japan wants for something, the Americans are going to go here, have some fucking money and a base for it. Darwin is going to become a very well-populated place. And everyone says, China's going to go after Africa. No.
They're doing it with soft power. They're basically giving them money and guns. Because Europe's not, America's not.
Everyone's done it before.
Yeah.
Everyone's done it to Africa before. And guess what happened? They got fucked. Africa has a habit of fucking you for getting gifts. Give me guns and stuff. Thanks for my guns and stuff. Now I'm going to put a tin pot general who's going to hang on to these resources for 10 years and get paid. And then once I get paid, nice ice, brother.
Sorry, I heard really fucking weird noises and I didn't know what it was. And it was the seal breaking on there. So you keep talking. That bit's waste at the top. I got to chop that off. And then I've got this incredibly sexy clear ice here.
So basically, the China-Africa thing's is not a real thing. And the UK is really keen to not have China take over NATO. The US is really keen to have China not take over NATO. Basically, Australia is really keen to have China keep on buying stuff. And they might want to get fucking cracking with the fusion power thing, which is what I think all of this moon fucking research is about. Not let's just go back to the moon because it's cool. It's because there's a shitload of helium-3 there, and that helium-3 will be very useful in a fusion power generator. That's what I think's going on with that. So if they can get that fusion power up and running before all the shit goes down, then we may very well see a quite nice world. But I don't know. If Russia implodes before That was novel. If Russia implodes before basically they can be convinced, leave Ukraine alone and give nice tap. Then the shit's going to hit the fan big time within the next couple of years. And I feel selfish, but I'm really glad I don't have children. Because I'd hate to see them in uniform. Because it'd be ugly. I'm glad I live in a continent that's a long way away from everywhere, and it's got lots and lots of resources, and it's hard to invade. I'm glad that there's a progressive government in place that's looking to change the power mix. That should have started 10 years ago, that didn't. Fuck. Have you been experiencing power blackouts where you are?
No. I know there's been some issues, but not in my neighborhood.
We've been experiencing power blackouts. Very little ones, like minute, two.
Yeah.
But they've been there, and it's like, guys, you're not hiding it. You're not hiding it.
You know why? You know why I'm not getting it? Because, the secret Zionist world government lives in my suburb. So they're not going to let the power run out.
You're next to Jewtown, aren't you? Yeah.
I am in the bagel belt of Melbourne, the eastern suburbs, where the vast majority of Australia's Jewish population lives. And because, yes, they're all part of the secret Zionist world government. So I never have power outages.
That's
right. It's a side benefit. It's a side benefit, is what I'm saying.
One of my nurses that helps me change my dressings on my legs is a Muslim woman, Australian Muslim woman. Australian Muslims. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, that one. Yeah, mate. You are, we are.
Well, okay, side thing, I always bring this up because they're like in the outer suburbs. Why do all the children of migrants have the same accent? Whether they're Middle Eastern, Mediterranean, or Asian, the children of migrants have that same accent, mate. What's going on there? It's just like they all have the same accent.
And then their children are all more strine than I am.
Oh, yeah. No, one more generation. It's kind of like our generation, who were the children of migrants, all have like the wogs out of work accent. But it's also whether they're Middle Eastern, Mediterranean, or Asian, they all have the same accent.
Same.
And one more generation, they're just very strine. And hello, Kirsten. Nice to see you.
Hello, gorgeous. I remember when I was in hospital for a year, having my balls looked at by everybody, including cleaners.
Fancy that. Something to tell the kids later.
Do you want to take a picture? Oh, no, they're on the internet. That's why I look. Anyway, I had this Vietnamese radioscope. What do you call them? Ultrasound. And I've looked at him and gone, you are probably the most beautiful Vietnamese boy I've seen for a long time. I'm going to restrain myself from having an erection because you are gorgeous.
Yeah.
And he's gone, yeah, mate, there you go. And I'm going, I killed that then. And then this...
But, okay, that's another thing. Like young people from non-Anglo backgrounds with very strong accents, that's fine. That doesn't surprise me at all. I remember watching a doco about Ballarat, okay, which and they have a long Chinese history from the mines and whatnot. So they have people who are not mixed race have stayed like within Chinese for 5 generations. They're like fifth
Gold-
generation Australians.
Goldfield.
I was watching a
Goldfield
doco,
Chinese.
and there's a Chinese museum in Ballarat, and there's this very old Chinese man running it. And of course, so I expected him to have an immigrant accent because he's very old, and then they talk to him, and he's got the most Australian accent, and I'm going, well, of course, your family has lived in Ballarat for over 100 years.
Yeah, like 150
but
years.
it's just not what I'm used to, and it's wild.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
right.
Dr. Abigail wants to join us. Okay. Oh, and Doctor, you'll like this. Dr. Abigail has an erection story. So whoever, I think Laura likes to join Angry Bunch as well. I'm putting the link in the chat. We should broaden who's here in the chat. We've been talking shit for 2 hours, which has been excellent fun. By the way, I'm onto martinis now. Freezer martinis, bitch. My infinity freezer martini, which must have 12 different gins and 4 or 5 vermouths in it at this point. That's been going for. I emptied it once, and I thought, no,
I will never do it again. Yeah. I am so ashamed. Shiva has come down and put his foot on me.
The other night, I put some saline. Like, I bought, the old dirty martini thing. You put, like, the olive brine in. I got a bottle that's just olive brine for making dirty martinis.
Oh.
There's Dr. Abigail. I'm going to do this. Hey, Dr. Abigail.
Hey, Dr. Abigail.
Hello.
How are you, beautiful?
Hello.
Hey, Doctor, you've lost some weight. You're looking good.
Oh, thank you.
I know. She's pretty sexy. That's all right. No, not that she's interested in either of us. And, oh, sorry, Dr. Abigail does not take compliments very well. She needs to
warm up to the compliment.
Yeah. So, okay, Dr. Abigail, we promise we won't compliment you anymore if you come back onto the stream. Okay? So
there you go. Mine was merely an observation of your health.
Also, do you like my comparatively subtle cocktail shirt here? Like, there's drinks there.
That's a cool.
But, you can't see.
Shirt.
There's I've got like.
That's not subtle.
Excuse me while I pour myself a drink.
Yeah, do that. That looks like Patient Wolf from the bottle.
I thought you were going to neck that.
Yeah, I thought you were just going to.
Just the smell. The smell of Melbourne Dry is just.
Yeah. Again, probably. It's very hard. Okay, my favorite distilleries in Melbourne: Patient Wolf, Starwood, and Brogan's Way. They're so Patient Wolf is gin, Brogan's Way is gin, Starwood's whiskey. I have not been to the Gospel Distillery. They do rye whiskey. I have some of their whiskeys, but I've not visited them in person. Oh my God, they were doing a thing. There's this really upmarket bacon brand called Saltsmith, and like they did a thing with Starwood where it was like whiskey soaked bacon or something. And I saw it in the supermarket, like it was just in the Woolies. And I looked at it. It was only a couple of pieces of bacon, and it was ridiculously expensive. And I looked at it. It was like $80 a kilogram. So it was like 8 times more expensive than other bacons. And I thought, I'm not getting that. And then I went in there once, and there was one that was at its use-by date. So it was 50% off. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I'll do it once. And I got it home and I cooked it. And it was really thick. And broadly, I don't like really thick bacon and whatnot, but I go, I'm going to cook it up, and I swear to fucking God, it was like thick bacon, and I cooked it up, and I just had it in a sandwich, and I bite, and it just fucking melts. Like you bite through it, and it just fucking melts. And I'm going, oh, okay, this is why they charge so much, because this is really fucking next level bacon here. I'm still not getting the full price stuff that is effectively $80 a kilogram. But
a friend of mine basically had a look at my diet after I went to the wound clinic, and the wound clinic said, "You're fucked."
Yes, that's the short diagnosis of AIDS.
That's a
You're-
technical term.
It's a medical term. It's Latin.
Yes.
It's Latin.
I think it goes from your diagnoses go from fucked to fucked.
That's
So,
that's the students. So basically, they sent me to the dietitian, and she said, "Oh, that is shit." And then they sent me to the social worker and said, "Here is a list of places where you can get food." Because it was getting to the point where I was going to either be able to afford medicine or food, not both. And my friend heard about this and said, "All that shit. I'm going to make you some broth that is going to be healthful that you will eat, because you can't just eat cheese and sauce sandwiches all the time. You fucking can. You fucking can."
Cheese and tomato sauce. That is the sandwich of champ. Also, sorry, I was going to say something else. I think it's gone straight out of my head. I do want to, say hi, Kirsten. Just before you do your erection story, Abigail. Yes, Kirsten, you honestly, you sound, having come from South Africa, but you sound totally Oz. You worked on it because kids said you talk funny. Yeah.
Well, that's fair
You're
enough.
saying gospel? No, you are correct. Gospel's not open to public. They do cellar door sales.
Yeah.
But that oh my god, they also did a thing. They were advertising that I was really tempted. They were doing a Salt Smith bacon night, pairing Salt Smith bacons with their whiskies, and I was super tempted. But I've kind of decided, while COVID's out of fucking control, I'm not going out. Mrs. Angry and I, we're not going out for the next month or so till this COVID outbreak maybe comes down. But AZ, I think it's now time for Dr. Abigail.
Let me quickly
You got to finish, and then I want a Dr. Abigail erection story.
So basically, my friend has built me this broth to make me healthy. Broth is, of course, a very thin soup.
Yes.
Okay, now this fucking broth is so thick, it's like chocolate pudding. You can put your spoon in it and turn it upside down, and the thing won't fall out.
Stays on the spoon.
Right. Yeah. In it is
like Turkish coffee.
Yes, Turkish coffee consistency. Yeah.
That Greeks have fought over, and then Turkish have fought over, and Greeks have fought over, and then Turkish have fought over. It's that thick. Anyway, so he's basically melted, I think, either pork or beef and lamb in it, and it just melts.
Oh,
and there's chickpeas and peas and potato and carrots and lots of other veggies in there. It's brown, you can't see through it. And when you eat it, you can actually feel the nutrition going through your system. And it's fucking amazing, but it's not broth. And it was made in a cauldron. And I said to the dietitian it was made in a cauldron, and she said, "Oh, you said twice now that it was made in a cauldron." I said, "Oh, clearly I mean a pot." And she said, "No, you mean a cauldron."
Mean a cauldron.
What else is in it? And I went, "I would have no idea." So, Dr. Abigail, tell me of erections.
Oh, so a quick hello, Laura. Hello, Laura. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
But now I've been hanging out for Dr. Abigail's erection story, quite honestly.
So this story is obviously pre-transition.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I was in my early 20s, so this was going back a long time. I was living at the time in a friend's lounge room because my partner at the time was addicted to the pokies, so we'd lost our apartment. But that's a tangent. and I had just recently had my 86 XF Falcon stolen for the first time.
Oh no!
Oh.
Because anyone with a screwdriver can steal an XF Falcon.
Yes.
The locks
Yeah,
were
that's true.
basically painted
That's
on
true.
with
Yeah.
like watercolor, like a kid did it.
And
They
you,
were
Ryan.
simply
Yeah.
And it's like
simply
one
to
key
keep the
would
doors
start
closed.
any Falcon. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the first time it got stolen. So it was gone for a week, and then the police found it in a
Yeah.
parking lot
Wow.
3 suburbs over. Someone had just used it to get from A to B, and then it was
Dumped it.
fine,
Just dumped it. That's
and
fantastic.
then just dumped it. So I got it back, and they asked me to go and pick it up, ring them to make sure it's mine, and tell them that I've got it. Otherwise, like, I could be driving it down the street and I'll end up with a
And
gun
get
in my
pulled
face.
up. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then don't touch anything, but drive it home. Don't try not to touch anything, because they're going to send someone over to
powder it.
fingerprint it.
To dust
So
it for print.
So I drive it, and my friend lets me park my car in their garage, which they didn't usually do, but they made a special case for this. And then I went to sleep in the lounge room. And at the time, I'd wear boxes, and I had a fairly good job, so I had all these like awesome like satin boxes that I used to wear.
Nice.
Yeah. And
I'm just imagining this. Hang on.
now I have pictures of me in my 20s, and I was quite a catch. I was fit as.
Okay.
I was very fit.
Didn't
I
know that would
rode
be
a
on.
bike all the time, and anyway,
You know my phone number.
let's just say I was quite popular with both men and women at the time.
Nothing's changed.
Anyway, so the next morning, and I rang work and said, look, I just got my car back, and stop it, Salumi. Thank you. I just got my car back. They want to fingerprint it. I'm not coming in today. So so I thought I'll sleep in. The police said they'd be there in the morning, but God, who knows what time they'd be there. So I didn't even bother setting an alarm, and just, slept in. Anyway, knock at the door.
7 o'clock in the morning.
7 in the morning. Yeah, something dark 100 hours. Sun had barely crept over the horizon. It was light out. Because this is important to the story.
It was light out.
It was light. It wasn't just kind of creeping up morning. It was like full morning glory.
Yeah.
And it was full morning glory, if you know what I mean. Because I got up having just oh my God, it's so early, in my awesome satin boxes, and opened the door, and sure enough, morning glory. Morning. And who was there but this gorgeous looking 20-something forensic scientist with a fingerprint kit, and I'm just
that's the worst.
I couldn't talk.
That is the worst.
Couldn't talk. Yeah.
That's the worst.
And so the morning glory semi went to morning glory full on, and I didn't know. I couldn't tell. I was half asleep, and she just politely said, "You should put on some pants, and I'll just wait out here." And I'm just like, "What? Oh, oh!" And then I like, yeah, because she saw.
See,
There
I
was
would
no
have come.
hiding that.
I would have come with. Look, I think someone tried to steal this as well. Do you mind dusting this down?
Dusting for Prince.
Um,
This is making me think. Who remembers the Animaniacs cartoon with the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister? There was one, and I forget the setup, but there was something about they were trying to solve a crime and said, look for Prince, and the girl of the family is she's got Prince, the musical artist, on her lap saying, "I've got Prince." And her brother goes, "No, fingerprints." And she looks at Prince and goes, "I don't think so." And
Well, that's basically the end of the story, because
it's pretty good though.
she
Good
dusted
story.
for Prince in the car, and I was I put pants on.
No,
You know,
in the
and,
porno version,
apologise.
my brain
she
is
would have
going
said, "I think you should take the boxes off." But,
my brain.
No.
My brain went off into a tangent. It's like, you should put some pants down because I could hang my coat on that.
Yeah.
yes.
Well, the thing is, I was
I need
so
somewhere to put my
tired.
box.
Yeah.
I was way too tired to even notice what was happening down there. And I was way too tired to take advantage of it and try and like be smooth about it. And
Yeah, no, you're too tired.
like it just,
I was working for my parents' plumbing company for a year, and it was very, very hot in Melbourne that year. We were getting 40-degree weeks, and I was working from home, and they would post stuff to me, and I would often work at the computer and the phone in mute because I'd have to answer the phones and hit the computer a lot. And the doorbell rang, and it was ding dong post, and I went to the post and then opened the door and said, "Oh, hi, yeah, thanks, Adrian, yeah." And she said, "Yeah, just going to remind you've got no clothes on." And went, "I'm fucking very sorry." And she said, "Yeah, I'm a postie. I see this all the time, actually." And I said, "I mean nothing by it." And they said, "You know what? Most people don't. You have a great day." And she just bailed, didn't bat a fucking eyelid. And I went, "Straight post.
Oh,
It's
look,
for you."
the amount of times I've like picked up a parcel that's come to my door just in my underwear, like, because they've woken me up, and I'll just like open the door, and I don't care, they don't care, it's whatever.
Yeah, this is a box.
Yeah.
There it is. Put it in your box. I'm gone.
Yeah. I did accidentally turn on my webcam for one work meeting when I was just like in a dressing gown, big fluffy dressing gown, and starting the meeting, and I accidentally did the thing to turn my camera on. And I was also, because it was like Microsoft Teams, I was the only one who switched a camera on. So everyone else got me full screen on their computers. It wasn't like this where I was a little window. No one else had a camera on.
Yeah.
And I accidentally switched mine on. And so it's like me full screen wearing a big fluffy dressing gown. Oh my God, that took a long time to live down. It was like the running joke for months.
To answer Safa's question, they didn't find who stole the car. They couldn't even lift any prints because the dash and everything in the XF, they used a textured pattern on a lot of the surfaces.
So it didn't hold prints.
What they used to do was they used to wear woolen gloves or socks. I know this sounds stupid, but you can't get fingerprints off woolen gloves or socks. And you can steal fucking anything using woolen gloves and socks. And in New South Wales, if you're caught wearing woolen gloves in a place you're not supposed to be, they just arrest you. They just arrest you
They
straight
assume
away.
you're stealing something.
Well, it's because why are you wearing woolen gloves in summer?
Yeah, well,
because I
be
am
smart
ashamed
about it.
of the burns on my hands and face and other places that might touch the. I'm going to jail, aren't I?
Yeah.
I've seen food grade. It's not pretty.
So
Yeah.
so the
It is
second
pretty.
time I had my
Some of it's pretty. Bits of it are pretty.
the second time that particular car was stolen, they did catch the guy.
Okay.
And the cop who made the arrest, when I picked up my car, he actually said, "I gave him a bit of a punch for you." And I was like, equal parts. Oh, thanks. And oh shit. Like if he's willing to say, if he's willing to say that, it was
You
more
know
than
what
just
happened.
a punch in the face.
Yeah.
And he had a bit of blood on his shirt, and I don't think it was his. So
Yeah, you know, he
Well, I
actually
mean,
really
it
fucked the
was an
guy up,
XF
yeah.
Falcon, and XF Falcons were not a thing to be sneezed at, and they weren't a thing to be disrespected.
they were a great car. They were
they're
the
a
last
wonderful car.
carburetor Falcon.
They were the
before
last
fuel injection came in.
before AFI, yeah, before AFI.
So
Yeah.
That just makes me think of last of the V8 Interceptors.
This was
Would have been
That
a
was an
shame to blow it
XB.
up.
how fucking
That-
old are
that-
we?
That was an XB coupe, not
I
an
was about to say that
XF.
was an XB. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
By
My
the way-
dad had an XB, not a coupe, just a standard XB with a V6 in the back, not the front. And I remember we were driving through Yarra Glen, and he accelerated a bit too much at one point. And if you have a big ass XB with a V6 in the back, you'll often find that your front wheels are not touching the road. And
yes, the acceleration.
yeah, so my brother and I, who were quite young at the time, were in the back seat. And how I touch it? Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, Ruby's saying if you cut shit, you can't go to the cops. Yeah.
Anyway, we were going around a corner, and if you know Yarra Glen, you know where around the Yarra, where there's a cliff on one side and the river around the other. We were going around there, and we just slid off, and luckily didn't hit any traffic.
Yeah.
Almost did. My dad just said, "Look, we're just gonna have a walk down by the river for about half an hour now."
as I de-poo myself.
Yeah. And then he sold the car a week later and bought a nice, sensible car. I think he actually bought and what was the one between the XB and the XF? It was the square one, but it wasn't the XF. It was the.
I know the one you mean. And it was the one that everyone gave shit to, but it was actually quite good.
Yeah. It was the one just before the XF.
Yes, it was.
The XE. It was the
there you
XE.
go. Of course it was.
Alphabets. How do they work?
Yeah. How did they go? Yeah.
Yeah.
And back in those days, all of the Australian Fords and Holdens were actually designed and built here, and often exported. The Pontiac in the United States was in fact the Monaro for about 20 years. For about 20 years, it was Monaro. And you'd get this great fucking the American Pontiac is there for it.
It's an Australian.
It's actually a Monaro.
Yeah. There is a huge market for collectors who are in the know, who are after actual Commodore branded Commodore Utes in America. Like,
Oh,
because
yeah.
utes aren't a thing there.
No.
They have pickup trucks, which are fucking huge,
Yeah,
and
they're stupid,
sedans.
And
yeah.
useless. And
Yeah.
useless. The
So,
Japanese,
utes, Commodore utes are huge there.
have still in Australia a massive testing area in Melbourne, in Western Sydney, and in Central Australia. Right? They have 3 zones, and they take their vehicles and because they're right-hand drive, and so no one knows that they're actually Japanese test cars, and they put Australian plates on them. No one knows what they are. Nissan and Toyota run this testing facility together. It's a cooperative effort, and they fang the shit out of these cars in Australia because you get all kinds of different roads.
What a sucky job that must be.
Yeah, no, it'd be fucked. I'd hate it. I would
driving
hate
a car real hard. Yeah.
going hard for 3 weeks.
Oh, gee.
For every
That'd
month,
suck.
and getting a week off a month, and getting several $1,000s a day to do it, to break cars that are coming straight out of Japanese factories. It'd be fucked. It'd be fucked. Anyway, so they basically, the Hilux that we know and love was invented for Australian conditions because they wanted something that would not break, and they found that everything they took to Australia broke. And they said, and Mr. Toyota-san said, if it fucking breaks again, this line is stopping. So the engineers got together and said, right, get the guys.
Time to over-engineer something.
Get the guys who used to build Zeros and the bullet trains.
The Mitsubishi Zero, yes.
No, seriously, they were still alive. Get them here and fucking get ideas. Get them full of sake and get ideas. And so they did. They got on the piss one night and they said, well, you need this, you need that, you need this. And they built Hiluxes. And they took them out to Australia and they kicked the shit out of them for about 3 months. And then they finally released them. And Mr. Toyota-san said, right, I take it up to Hokkaido. And it didn't die. Okay, take it down to Osaka. Didn't die. Take it down to Okinawa. Didn't die. Right, take it to Australia. We already did. And it didn't die. And they went, okay, fine. And you know that whole thing in Top Gear, how they tried to kill the Hilux and it would not die.
A very good set of episodes.
Right. Well, basically, it was that. That was the purpose that they built it for. Was they said it's a tradesperson's ute. And they kick the shit out of these things and they expect them to go. And we're going to make them out of diesel. It's not going to be a glamour car. It's going to be something that takes pipes and electrical fittings and fucking fridges and stuff. And, from there to there, and going to have dogs on the back of it to guard it. And that's going to be how it works. And they basically, I had a Hilux for 8 years. And could not kill the fucking thing. I had 2 tyres blow out while I was going 120 kilometres per hour, going back to Bathurst late for rehearsals. And when you have 2 tyres blow out, you're fucked because you've only got 1 spare tyre. And I went, okay, what am I going to do? So I put my spare tyre on and I stuffed the other one with grass because I only had 15 kilometres to go to get to the next town, which had a bow repairs in it. And they fixed up the grass tyre and my spare tyre and got me on my way. I had lost a total elapsed 45 minutes of time. And the rim that I was driving the car on basically was fine enough so that they just had to rebalance it. And it took them 5 minutes. And they said, it's a Hilux, it'll be fine, don't worry about it. And they didn't rebalance that wheel again. The bloody thing finally died when the timing chain snapped and 2 of the sleeves got out of sync and cracked the block, and the whole thing went on steam fire and went uphill for another 100 metres before it said, boss, I have nothing left to give. It's over. Pull the handbrake on, and I'll see you in Yasukuni. And so after a new engine, it went for another 6 years.
You brought up this thing before, the test run they used to do in Australia for various cars, start in Queensland in tropical heat and drive non-stop down the coast, and then from Sydney then go west up the mountains and finish in Thredbo in sub-zero temperatures, and then park the car. And I don't know if you've ever driven your car to extremes when it's cold. When you park it, you hear a ticking noise, which is the heated metal of the engine going. And there was this thing where they'd driven it non-stop for like 12 to 18 hours and then finish up in the mountains and park it, and it goes tick, tick, tick. And they wait, will the engine block actually crack? Or will it survive? And they would wait to see if it would survive. Just like if the engine block actually cracked, it's like, well, that's not good enough. We can't release that onto the market. And
do it again.
Australia was just the place where they would do these weird endurance tests.
Well, they took Toyota-san on the track, and he brought Nissan-san with him, and they basically had a race with a GTO and a Lexus from Queensland through New South Wales, through Victoria, through Central Australia, and finished in Thredbo, and said that was way too much fun, and fucking kicked the shit out of our cars. We should buy these bits and pieces of land and do this every year. And they used to make a holiday of it. They used to basically gumball rally their own cars. And the various different police forces involved used to accept the kind donations to the Police Boys Club. And very fast Japanese cars used to fuck off at 2 o'clock in the morning with the police watching quietly by the side of the road as Toyota and Nissan used to just fucking fang it down the Western Highway. That had to stop though, because it got too well known, and that stopped in late 80s, early 90s. Yeah,
I think it's a bigger thing in New South Wales. Like if you break several egregious laws, they'll actually confiscate your car.
Yeah,
and if it's a high performance car, they'll then give it to the highway patrol. A couple of times I've been driving in New South Wales, and the highway patrol are driving very high-end sports cars, and it's shit they've actually just confiscated from someone who was driving 250 kilometers an hour down the highway. And it's okay, now it's a highway patrol car. You did your shit, we took it from you, and now it's a highway patrol car. And you just go, these guys who get, and you think they've got, sorry, Dr. Bailey, you had an erection story. I think these guys who drive these sports cars, they've got a hard on the whole time they're driving these sports cars down the highway.
I saw a Lebanese
That's
boy.
how they're able to eat and drive.
Yeah. I saw a Lebanese boy in tears as his beautiful Lexus was being taken by the New South Wales police gently on the back of a tow truck, and they're all rubbing their hands together going, that's going to go fucking well in the western suburbs, catching crooks. And they're going, so Yusuf, you're going to jail for 5 years and we're having your car for the rest of your life. And you don't have a license for 10 years. That'll suck, won't it? Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, they do one or two things. They either put the car into the highway patrol, or they crush it. They take it out to the wrecking yard, and they make the person who owned it watch.
They make them watch.
Crush the car. It's just
imagine being pulled over. Imagine having your car like impounded, like your high performance car vehicle
and
being impounded.
Three times the amount of the car itself on
Yeah.
on
And then-
improvements, watching it being
and then being arrested again by the cops driving your car.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Oh,
It's
that's
either
happened.
they made
That's
you
happened.
watch your car get crushed, or 12 months later, you literally get pulled over by the cops driving your old car.
That would I don't know what would suck more.
I know
I-
it's pretty fucking harsh.
Yeah.
The most ridiculous thing that ever happened to me on the road coming from Bathurst to Canberra was I was in my Volkswagen. Now, when I was in high school, last 2 weeks of high school, we had a big party, and it was at a one of the kids' farms, one of their properties. There was a dam on the property. Now, I got there early. Everyone parked behind me, and I couldn't get out the way I came. There was a mist on the ground. I drove out to try and get on the road, and I drove into the dam and drowned my car. Okay, there's a big story about it. Very funny. I tell it takes 15 minutes. Everyone laughs. So I drowned this car. We got it out. I managed to get it home by putting petrol down the sleeves, and away we went. Years later, some things would go wrong with the car, and they would open something, and it was weird. There was water in it. I go, really? I wonder how that got there. Anyway, after I'd submerged this car in a dam, this fucking Volkswagen was just, unkillable. And so I'm driving back, but it wouldn't ever go as fast as it would. It would go 145 when I first got it. After that, I couldn't get it up past 110. It would never go faster than that. Anyway, so I'm driving 100 and something down the highway. This Holden goes past me like I'm standing fucking still. There's two cars in front of me, and then the cops come and they stop the two cars in front of me, and a car behind me, and they're starting to talk to the drivers, and the drivers are starting to remonstrate, and the cop goes to me, I suppose you think you're smart, do you? And I go, no, I'm really not. I'm a student. We're not known for being smart. That was not the thing to say, but anyway. He said, well, you were going 160 down the road, and I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at my Volkswagen Beetle, and I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at my Volkswagen Beetle, and I'm looking at him going, 160? Are you absolutely sure about that?
Also, I'm just laughing because I had a Volkswagen Beetle at about the same time.
And I'm just looking at him going, I said, did you maybe perhaps there was another car that maybe passed us three. It was going a lot faster than us.
Yeah. Did you make a mistake? Did you identify the wrong vehicle?
Anyway, the car behind me, the guy behind me was actually quite loud in his remonstrations. And the cop finally started to wander up and he said, can I have a word? To the cop that was fucking, because I was a student, I was clearly going to go to jail and get it up the bum. He had a chat, and they had something on the radio that they both listened to. Clearly there was another speed trap down the road where they got him. And they said, they came back to me and said, here's your stuff, driver, you can go. And
sorry, 80. Christ, I want to stop you. Randomly, you made a thing pop into my head. I remember a story. Everyone else, forgive me. This is incredibly self-indulgent. This means nothing to anyone but me and AZ. But do you remember Glenn and Katie?
Yes.
Okay. This is friends of ours. This is friends of ours from uni, and they were like from one country train station. They were hitching to get back to Bathurst, and a truck driver picked them up, and a truck driver who was obviously wired to the fucking gills.
Just really out of there.
They just went like, yeah, man, you're obviously fucked up. Either give us some of your drugs or we'll turn you into the cops at the next town. And okay, these people were only like 20. They kind of looked cute and innocent. They were only about 20
They
years
weren't.
old.
They really weren't.
No, they
Innocent.
were demons.
They were
They were demons
they were
in human
devious.
form. But they looked like kind of, and a truck driver picked them up, and they just went, "Yeah, dude, either give us some of your drugs, or we will turn you into the cops at the next town."
Wow.
And the way they told me this, they were so.
That is
did.
so low.
He
I
fucking
know
did.
it was a really fucked thing to do.
He fucking
They-
did.
it's like, a truck
And
driver
Katie-
picked them up, and then she said, "Dude, give us your drugs, or we'll turn you in." And
And Katie was
God.
telling stories of shit that she was seeing on the road and going, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? It's not the half of it. It's not the half of it. He said, I don't know how these, she said, I don't know how these truck drivers get this shit delivered because the crap they've got to drive through is just ridiculous. There was a pumpkin that was towing a trailer full of pigs that was we were going 160 and it just left us like we were going still.
Sorry, AT, I want to do one more self-indulgent thing. Doesn't mean anything to do with else, but any stuff. And this is actually, I was going to say, it's actually very sad. Jerry, our man, Jerry from uni. I don't know if you know this. His wife died recently.
I didn't know that.
No, and it was really unexpected. She didn't have any health issues.
No.
Whatnot, and she just fucking died. Sorry,
Wow.
this was a tutor of ours at uni, and there was no warning. All right, you don't do Facebook. I do Facebook. Jerry's on Facebook. I'll say we.
How did she die?
Oh no! It was just like she just fucking died,
Like heart attack in the middle of the night.
It was just like and because Jerry is a little bit older than us, 10 to 15 years older than us.
So he'd be like 60, 70 now.
I know.
In there, 65,
Yeah,
65.
he's like 15 years older than me and AZ. But also, okay, and he thought I was, okay, AZ, and again, apologies to everyone else. This means nothing to anyone but me and AZ.
God, what is this, your stream or something?
I know. It's like my stream. Because we often refer of our various lectures we had at uni. There's one guy, Bill Blakey, who appears to be an eldritch Celtic god. Would you agree, AZ?
Oh, absolutely. The man's got to be about 185 and looks
Yeah. So we had, but also the thing with Bill, he did age. He was an eldritch Celtic god, but he did age. And okay, the last time we went back to Bathurst was about 10 years ago. I don't know. It's the whole thing where I ate the garlic stuff and burped in the car and almost killed you and whatnot. But anyway, but I feel like Jerry, who is American, didn't age, whereas Bill, again, he's an eldritch Celtic god, but he did age. But Jerry,
see, the thing is, Bill runs around his property with a spear, killing wild pigs,
and also fucking. Jerry is not so much about the fucking, but Bill.
Can I just double check? We're not talking about the pigs now, are we?
Oh, possibly, Laura. We might be talking about the pig.
You know what? It's an eldritch god. You don't want to fucking make assumptions.
Again, Celtic eldritch gods. We kind of had one of our tutors lecturers, Bill, who is a Celtic eldritch god.
One of the biggest scandals that happened when we turned up at uni was that there was this big underground thing that was going on, and we didn't know about it for half a year. And what had happened was this Celtic eldritch god was fucking one of the students, and it all came out. And we
Oh
thought-
my god! Again, yes, and again, I was
it all
kinda
came out
okay
in a
that he was
big,
fucking
messy
stupid.
way. And we thought, oh, this is going to be firing. This is going to be bad. And it wasn't. The two women got together and said, yeah, we both fucked this guy. Of course we would. He's the fittest guy in campus. This guy was 50 when we knew him. He was the fittest.
We were 20.
We were 20.
And he was 50, right?
And he could outrun, he could outclimb, outpunch, and out anything us. He could throw us onto a roof. One of his favorite tricks was to grab one of the bigger guys and go, "You're being stupid," and throw them onto a roof, a first-story roof. He would pick me up. I was 115 kilos when I was at my fighting weight. I was a big, strong circus boy. And I wasn't a flyer, I was a base man. And he would pick me up.
Aidan and I were both base guys, yes.
Right, belt and shoulder, and throw me onto the roof.
Yeah.
And I would just have to roll onto the roof going, "You fucking prick, now I've got to get down." And because the first time it happens, you shit yourself. Second or third time it happens, you're going, "Oh, Bill, come on, man, I'm pissed."
And again, we had the two guys, Bill, who was above us, and we were mere specks in the universe to Bill's eldritch powers. And Jerry was kind of us. Jerry didn't fuck other people. Jerry had his wife and his family, and he was there. But Bill fucked everyone, honestly. Was that fair?
Oh, yeah. I mean, okay, he got sprung fucking that one student, but he wasn't only fucking one student.
Let's
get real.
Bill was just an erection that was going into
putting it around. And it wasn't like, he was forcing his power onto students.
No, he was not exploiting anyone. He was
no. People who
fucked
him
Bill wanted to
fuck Bill. I wanted to fuck Bill. For Christ's sake, I wanted. And he was going,
that guy wanted to fuck Bill. Yeah, okay.
Right. And I was going, "Oh, yeah, I reckon I have a go." And I almost did. And he said, "Yeah, I kind of would, but I'm a little bit booked up tonight." And they went, "You're fucking me." And he said, "I would, but I'm a bit booked up tonight." And I went, "Fair call, dude."
Oh,
he said,
God.
I said, "Fair call, dude, but I don't know if you've noticed, but over in the corner there's a little girl looking at you." And I went, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah, look slowly." And I did, and I went, "Oh, that's lovely." And he went, "I thought so. Enjoy." And off I went. And yes, she was.
Yeah.
Look, I'm saying we're in the afternoon. We're talking about people
after
fucking.
Party. I'm a cat bed.
And yes,
I'm a cat
bed. Yeah.
I'm a cat bed.
I've got to go in for shortly.
Laura,
you're all dressed up and you're looking really nice.
Morning or middle of the day for you? What are you doing today?
It's nearly 2:00 in the afternoon. But
2 o'clock? Seriously?
Yeah. But I've got my next laser hair removal treatment coming up, so I'm going to need to take some painkillers because that's not an entirely comfortable experience.
But you know what, Laura? You are looking a bit fabulous. I'm just want to put that in there.
By the way, you haven't seen me around for ages. I am now 1 year of HRT now. In fact, it's actually 13 months now. So
also, again, I feel like I'm the only cishet person here. AD, kind of sexy and fabulous. Laura, sex. Again, I feel like Laura is maybe asexual and fabulous, and Abigail doesn't want me to say.
He's a cat bed.
Fabulous.
I'm a cat bed.
He's a cat bed. He's a cat
Laura's
bed.
just a cat bed.
Laura is a cat bed.
Abigail's a cat bed.
Laura is fine.
Laura is fabulous.
I have a little sort of a thought a little while ago. You know, when you're talking about someone dying in their sleep, and that's a shame.
Yeah.
And so I thought to myself, if AIDS was on Twitter, this is what I'm going to have typed it. This is what
Yes.
his little banner at the bottom, at the top of all his.
Oh shit! Yes. Okay. Nobody's in
One above.
Melbourne. Laura, Annette, is that true?
The one above
Nobody's
that
in
one.
Melbourne at the moment.
So yes,
No,
nobody is in Melbourne, but Angry is so drunk he can't pick.
Gosh.
I am pretty,
Everyone
I am pretty
post-
drunk at the moment.
Ow!
Are you
Everyone,
missing the one
literally, everyone posted a comment just as you posted that comment, Laura, and so it confused Angry.
I'm pretty easy to confuse, quite honestly.
Have you seen it yet?
Seen what? Sorry.
I posted a message, and this would be AIDS's Twitter, handle. There you go.
I got in trouble.
I love that he's into that. No, I'm dead, but not for lack of trying. But yeah.
Well, I give it a fucking good nudge every 6 months.
Yeah.
I got into a bit of shit today by the guy who made me the broth. And I was saying that I was teaching a scientist how to astral travel.
Astral travel, okay.
And because that's the best way to learn is to get evidence is to do it yourself, not just to be shown, because it's just fucking strings and wires. If you're shown, it's fucking the great Randy can pull that apart. But if you can actually do it yourself, then it's a lot harder to disprove. I was talking about how when you're teaching somebody to do something, you sharpen up your own skills. And I was saying about how everyone's got their blind spot, and how you've got to be careful about your blind spot. And for the longest time, my blind spot was a few things, but mostly drugs.
Sorry, that's a fucking hilarious blind spot. My blind spot was an enormous amount of drugs. Sorry.
It was an enormous amount of drugs, and he said, dude, you were trying to kill yourself with drugs. It wasn't a blind spot. You were nailing your coffin shut from the inside. And I said, oh yeah, but I got out of it. And he said, no.
Sorry,
Mr.
I just want to throw in, Big Pat. Big Pat has definitely joined the chat and said hello to us.
Hey, Big Pat, how you doing, man?
Dude, Pat, you know how much we love you, dude.
Of course we do.
Because over the last, however the fuck many years we have known each other, you've come here for White Night, you've come here for meetups, and we have fucking done shit, bro. And
White Night sounds the concept of just hearing. I want Stray so much. It's a computer game where you play a stray cat.
For anyone who doesn't know, Stray is a computer game where you are a cat in a cyberpunk dystopia, and it sounds fucking great.
That sounds fun, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Salute
Also,
played it and said it's great.
Hearing there's a whole night in Melbourne called White Night.
Oh,
it just sounds so wrong.
Years ago. No, White Night fucking rocks. AZ,
it's the worst, actually.
Days, Big Pat, and this was about 3, 4, 5 years ago. We did these all night fucking things with art installations. My god!
So they have.
So I have two comments I want to make.
Yes.
The first one's about White Night and how awful it is.
Okay. Yes.
Because I've been, and it was so full of people that I could barely move.
There were too many people. There were absolutely too many people.
To this day, just mentioning White Night, I get panic attacks.
Yeah,
it's hyperbole. I don't, but
they did fix a lot of that up.
I can't do White Night anymore.
The first White Night they did was just ridiculous. There was not enough toilets and there was not enough room. They have fixed up a lot
I got
of
caught in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
no,
did I.
fuck.
So did I. I was
Yeah.
freaking out.
Yeah, I was just. Anyway, point number 2 is my wish list on Steam. I have ordered them in order of like which one I would prefer to get. I've ranked them. Stray is number 1. Just putting it out there. If there are any benefactors out there, my wish list on Steam, Stray is on the top there.
Yeah.
I had someone gift me a game that they really like, and I tried it. It's like, this is shit. And it's called Rust.
And
Rust.
Rust is
a lot
Rust.
of people.
Oh,
Excuse me,
God.
just a second.
Rust is only fun to watch people play on YouTube and troll people. Rust is actually the worst.
Effectively, you're in like an environment, pretty much naked, and you've got to find stuff and you've got to build a fort and stuff like that. But if you log off, you will wake up as out in the middle of nowhere with no clothes on again, because during that, during the day that you were away, someone went and blew up your fort and killed you.
Yeah, because your assets persist in the world, and it's strictly multiplayer. And so you have to clan up with people or build a base that is somewhat defensible.
I'm just throwing out Salumi. If you want to throw in pickup lines, Salumi, I'm on board.
Do it. Throw in pickup lines.
And I just heard Kirsten talking about,
and I'm loving Safa's comment about White Knight and Bukake. There, that's a different White Knight. That's
that is a different.
That's an indoor White Knight.
You know what's funny? That thing I said about AIDSy could be a pickup line. I'm not dead yet. Not for lack of trying.
No, that's fair. That is absolutely fair. Oofed. What did Nettie's? Sorry, I'm just thinking.
Nettie doesn't like the concept of Bukake.
Oh, come on, Nettie. Just fucking get on board. Get on board.
By the way,
when you're the center of attention, I'm being.
It is. You're the center of attention. Who doesn't want to be the center of attention?
Is my sound okay? Because I'm going to move.
Your sound is fine, Laura.
Okay, good. Because it's now on top of my monitor.
Yeah, correctly saying, because we've started talking about a bukake, we must be in the after party. Yeah, we probably we're in the after party at this point. Pat is saying, Pat, dude, we are fine.
So I have fucked up news.
Thank you, Laura. What fucked up news do you have?
Trans shit again. So about maybe a year ago, it was announced that being a transphobe is protected under the Equality Act.
Oh, fucking hell.
Fuck off.
Jesus fucking Christ, we live in such a...
Good night,
and
Will.
So there's this lady called Alison Bailey who went to sue a LGBT charity. Is like the biggest one, because they had this diversity champions thing where basically your business can have accreditation that they're LGBT friendly. That's basically it. Well, she's a barrister, and the chambers that she worked for went for this diversity champions thing, and this Alison Bailey is a transphobe. She's the one that created co-founder of the LGB Alliance, which is an anti-trans hate group. They like to pretend that they speak for lesbian, gay, and bi people, but actually they just it's plausible deniability. Anyway, so what happens is she kind of kicks up a bit of a fuss of this, and she feels that, you know, the chambers kind of did her wrong, didn't give her enough work and stuff like that, you know. And so, you know, she was sued Stonewall, and she lost against Stonewall, even though she had done a fundraiser and raised over £500,000, so £500,000 to sue a group, and then failed.
Yeah.
She didn't win. The only thing she won £22,000 from the chambers that she worked at, because they discriminated against her in some, you know, they said mean things, basically.
Yes.
So, but the whole transphobe community is like, she won. She didn't. I am suing Stonewall was the goal.
Yeah.
And she lost. You know, out of 5 different elements, she lost 3 of them, and the 3 were the big main ones. So she won a sort of, you know, effectively, she got the trophy for taking part, the participation trophy.
Participation trophy, yeah.
You know, but the newspapers and the BBC and all, you know, are all like, she won. And it's like, no, she didn't. And then on top of that, so there is only one trans care facility for kids, and that's in London. And basically, they, you know, like the NHS everywhere, and you know, gender clinics everywhere, they have more people needing help than they have the ability to help. And so you've got kids that are basically, you know, like 12 or 13 or something like that, and they're, you know, about to start puberty, but they can't be seen in time, so they don't end up getting puberty blockers, which only stop puberty. That's all they do.
Yeah.
Transphobes like to say, oh, these are experimental drugs. They're not. They've been used since the 70s on kids with precocious puberty, where they start to go through puberty at like 6 or something.
Yeah.
So what's happened is there's been a report. We're going to close that centre down, and we're going to make lots of regional centres, because it's not working. It's not helping enough. You know, it's leaving kids in a really bad situation. And so the transfer was like, we win, we've won. And it's like, no, they're opening new ones. The things that are bad, they're getting rid of. The things that are good, they are opening regional ones instead of having one. So it's weird how bizarre the you've lost has turned into, no, we won. So,
yeah, it's pretty fucking weird. Is the
Yeah.
short version.
But you know what? I'm gonna, because I've got to go in a couple of moments. But I'm gonna finish off with a really, really nice one. So last weekend, if you remember, I went to a model railway show. It's the best one of the year for me.
Yes.
And you know, I had a great time. I spent over £600 on model train stuff, and didn't come home. I didn't come home with a lot. You know, for example, I bought some coaches, and on the second-hand stand, and I'm looking at the price 25 and thinking that's a good price.
Yeah.
Only about 5 or 6 years ago, I would have looked at that price and said, "You're taking the piss."
Yes.
That's how much the price has gone up, because now a coach is like 50 quid.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, but the best thing is, so it wasn't my first time, you know, because I'd been out a few years. It was first time on HRT that I'd been.
Yeah.
But obviously with COVID, there hasn't been one since 2019. And so the 2019 one was the first time I went to, you know, to see people I know like this. And it all went great. But my friend Tamara is non-binary. And, you know, Tamara has been coming out over the last year, you know, dyeing the hair, wearing eye makeup and stuff like that, you know. So it's kind of blossoming, you know, newly hatched egg, so to speak, as as is a phrase that's used in trans circles.
Heard that one. I've heard that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, although for me it was still really cool and people accepted me as I am and not really mentioned the transitioning thing at all because it's just old news now. But having my friend wearing a pink top and a purple miniskirt, you know, and feeling really, really good about themselves, you know, that was really, you know, I kind of really enjoyed that. You know, personal experience thing is really cool, but you know, when you're really happy for someone else having that same experience of, you know, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, being accepted and, you know, for who you are is a brilliant thing when you're a little, you know, when you're a bit different. So watching my friend get treated with respect and kindness, you know, just sort of like it's a bit like reliving your own childhood when you open, you know, you give your kids the Christmas presents and you kind of fathom back to that time when you had presents and you remember how cool it is and you're enjoying them having that experience themselves, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that was a nice thing.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
Easy to dwell on the negative shit all the time.
Yes, and I think it behooves us to push the positive as well.
Yeah. You know, I mean, it's a little dark at the moment for being trans.
The world generally is somewhat dark at the moment.
Yeah, well, I just kind of mean, you know, you've literally got politicians, you know, and would-be politicians saying that, you know, any doctor or parent that helps gives gender-affirming care to a trans child should be hung from the nearest tree.
Oh yeah, no, it's fucked.
There's laws in Texas that make it literally a child abuse. If
that's what they, you know. Oh, you've helped your kid with affirming care. Haven't taken hormones or anything. Just, you know, let them be.
And again, the US is front and center for how fucked that is. The US is not alone in being super fucked.
Well, I mean,
land of the free, hey?
Unless
you're different.
Yeah. You know, it's but it's not just that, it's even, you know, I mean, literally we've got a new prime minister incoming. And it's been, you know,
we don't even know who the UK Prime Minister is going to be.
Yeah, they whittled it down to the last two, but both of them and pretty much all the other ones, it's almost like they were competing about how transphobic their administration is going to be.
Yeah, which is very off-putting.
Well, it is if you're trans, to say the least. You know, like I say,
a decent human being.
I'm about to say, even as a cishet white guy, I look at that and go, that's kind of fucked.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, it's you know, I keep remembering the movie Airplane and Lloyd Bridges saying, guess I picked the wrong week to quit smoking, drinking amphetamines in blue. And I keep thinking, you know what, I'm going to take those 4 little pieces and then have the last one have my own. And it's like, it's just going to be me saying, guess I picked the wrong year the wrong decade to come out as trans.
Yeah, it is super fucking strange because we've seen, and I feel like the US is leading the world on this. Very fucking mainstream conservative political figures in the US are being mega anti-trans, but it's only a shade of meaning to they become anti-queer, anti-gay, and then it's only a shade of meaning to they become anti-women, and then it's only a shade of meaning to they become anti-anyone who's not white, and it's very fucked up what's happening right now.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard Christians say that atheists don't have any sense of morality.
Again, it's absolutely surreal. when you try to explain to these fucking weirdos, my sense of right and wrong is not tied to an imaginary man in the sky who will punish me if I'm a bad person. It's like, no. I literally just look and go, I don't want to be a bad person. I don't want to fuck other people over. I don't believe in a higher power that will punish me if I'm not a bad person. I just don't want to be a bad person.
It really comes down to, if you need a god to tell you to be a good person, then you
You're
really
not a good person.
You don't have a sense of morality. You're just obeying orders. You didn't come to a conclusion, this is the right thing to do or that is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
You basically just went, oh, the rule book says this.
Yeah. And I forget what
and the problem is the rule book includes rules for slavery.
Yeah. Again, anyone who wants to look at any religious text as their source for morality, it's going to fall down, essentially, because it's just fucked. But I forget what it was, but I do remember seeing a thing where a Christian person says, why do atheists exist? And the Christian text was, you need to understand these people who don't believe in the God figure have still decided to have a moral compass and say, I will not do a bad thing because it hurts people. And I choose to not do the bad thing, not because a higher power tells me to, but because I just look at it and go, well, that's shit. Why would I fuck someone over? And so there's a particular version of Christian theology that says atheists are better people than some people who say they adhere to Christianity out of fear, because the atheists don't have this humanist urge out of fear. They just go, I just don't want to hurt someone. I just don't want to fuck someone over. Whereas you get people who say, I'm a Christian, and then usually they say it's because I don't want to be punished. 80, you want to say something?
Well, actually, I need to say something first, and that is...
Laura, jump in. Go for it.
I need to go. So,
love you, Laura. See you later.
Yes. Nice seeing you again, AZ.
Laura, you literally have to go.
I literally have to go. Literally, my shoes are there. My bag is
Live
here.
a life, Laura.
Going out. So,
well, I was gonna say, I actually hear more Christians.
I think you wanted to say a philosophy thing.
Yeah, I hear more Christians say that that they're not. I hear more Christians that I know say that they don't listen to the big, loud, especially televangelists who scream that atheists are fucked and these people are fucked and those people are fucked and everyone's fucked. I hear more Christians that I know go, people are good on their own or bad on their own, and I believe in these teachings of this guy. And when I was younger, it wasn't like that. But more and more now, as I get older, I hear more and more Christians on a human to human basis go that the mass media version of what we hear is in fact the perversion of what the message is. And I was surprised at that when I first sort of came to understand it. But I'm more and more just seeing it happen. I have met a heap of gay Christians, and I never would have thought that was a thing ever in my time as a young fella, especially. But more and more now, I meet more and more and more and more gay Christians who go that, oh no, you know, the teachings of Christ and the idea of salvation is something that I can really latch onto, and the hatred stuff is something that you don't really find. And now I'm not an expert enough to go into it in depth at all, but I think more and more, maybe here in Australia, maybe in New Zealand, I wouldn't know in a lot of other places. I'm getting the impression that a lot of people are going that the televangelicals are the perversion of what's going on, not the mainstream. Like I said, I don't know for sure, but that's just the impression that I'm getting. Yeah, sure, I still get the occasional psychopath that wants to burn me, but I'm less and less of that is coming through now. You know, that's just something I see. I don't have a judgment on that because I don't have a wildly solid basis of measurement on it. But yeah, that's what I'm saying more and more. Hello. I'm just getting a thing.
Uh-oh.
What are you owing?
Oh, if you're going to answer the phone, it means it's up to me to maintain the stream.
No. I've
Thank goodness.
I just looked at the thing, and
Cool.
I don't know what Angry just had to go and do. I can imagine.
Did he say that he was doing something?
No, he just bailed.
Okay.
And
he either has gone to lie down on the couch or relieve himself.
Yes, I guess we'll find out in but a moment. I can't imagine that he's gone too far.
No, I imagine he's still in his house.
No, I can't imagine he'd leave his house, but I can't imagine he's gone to lie down. I can't imagine.
Well, he
had
done that. He has done that.
He has
mysteriously just like
bailed.
Walked off and fallen asleep on the couch.
Yes, that's true. That's true. He has done that. I can't judge that though, because I've done that also.
Well, you've done that on the stream. You didn't even fuck off. You just like fell asleep on the stream. Well, I've done that too. I've fallen asleep on the stream. And
that's true, but you went to sleep when we asked you to. No,
well, I've just like I've noticed I've been lying. I've just been sitting here on my really comfy chair and I've just fallen asleep. Whereas
Yeah.
you've been standing up and fallen asleep on the stream.
That has happened.
That's like
I will-
next level.
No,
At
no,
least-
there's
at
a
least
fucking
Angry
video
went to
that
a
I will
couch.
release to the world at some point where AZ is, and this is from about 10 years ago actually, where AZ is standing up and talking, and he's got his stick, and then he just leans over his stick and he stops talking, and he's actually asleep while standing up. And that is fucking amazing.
Yes. It's a
I know,
skill.
right? He's just really gonna, yeah, I can fucking fall asleep while I'm standing up.
I don't even have to leave. I don't even have to lean on things. I can just mind you, what I've been doing lately is bending over while sleeping. And the other thing I've been doing lately is falling over while going to sleep. And that'll wake you up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But
again, I did not fucking believe, and that's why I left the video camera running. And this was about 10 years ago, where you were talking and you fell asleep while you were talking, and all you did was lean slightly forward on your walking stick. And I'm not on camera, I'm behind the camera. I'm in awe. You have fallen asleep while talking and standing up, and you are definitely 100% asleep, but also standing up. Again, 99% of humanity cannot do this. Most humanity has to be lying down to fall asleep. You did it while standing up, and
I can do that. I can do that. I have that skill.
That's a thing.
I have that power.
That's a fucking thing.
Normally, you have to be a quadruped to do that.
No, AD is a biped. He ends up being a triped because he's kind of leaning. He's leaning. On
Well, Are you saying he's got a giant penis?
Also, yes, but also no.
Where do you think quadruped comes from? There's the triped with the stick, and there's the triped with the stick, and then you get the quadruped.
AD walking along the sand. It's like a set of footsteps, and then this furrow in the middle,
like a kangaroo tail,
and that's his dick.
Wasn't there a Rolf Harris song about someone with 3 legs?
Jake the Peg did a little.
Yeah,
leg.
that's it.
Yeah. He touched too many children, did a little. Then he went to jail, did a little. And he's never getting out, did a little, because he's going to get raped to death in jail.
Is Rolf Harris still in jail? Because I know he did end up in jail.
Yes, he's still in jail. He's going to be in jail for a long time. He's going to be in jail.
And yet the guy from Hey Dad is out and about.
Yes, he got out. They put him in jail for 30 years, and he got out. Unbelievable. The guy's 65. And he got out.
Where is he living now? In the
UK. No one knows.
Didn't a current affair did a hit piece on him and basically ambushed him in the street, and it was just fucked.
Awful. He's awful.
Oh, but he will have moved from there. You can't stay. Once current affairs finds you, you've got to go. You've got to move the state. You've got to leave the state.
Well, no, he's in the UK.
Oh, right.
So, the guy from Hey Dad. The guy from Hey Dad.
Oh God, that's another one. The Hey Dad guy who's just
so what happened was a current affair found out that because he got released from jail, and a current affair found out where he lives. So they sent a reporter to the UK and basically ambushed him in the street for no reason, just to get-go story, which is fucked on so many levels. Like,
Once
yes,
you've done your criminal time, you've done your criminal time. It's
yeah,
over.
but like, I get that he's a pedophile and he deserved to go to jail and all that, but also it was really fucked what a current affair did. Like, there are no awesome sides here.
Mm.
Like, that was just fucked.
No. Once you've finished your jail time, that's it. You get left alone. You are not allowed to. You're not allowed to go near children. You're not allowed to do things involving publicity, TV, kiddies, whatever. You're not allowed to do any of that. You're not allowed to go near any of your victims ever again.
Yep.
But you also got to expect the right to quiet privacy to where you live. If where you live has the rules that says that you've got to tell everyone on your block that you're a registered child sex offender, then you've got to do that.
Yep.
And I think in Britain they have something along those lines. I know in America they do. You've got to tell everyone in your street and in your block. You've got to have actually a sign at your front saying registered child sex offender. Basically, but once you're in Australia, once you've done your time, that's it. You be left alone. And the idea of TV stations coming out after you.
Yeah, it's fucked.
If you're not expected to be violent, if you're expected to be a recidivist, then you're really he
was on the street with his wife after going to a cafe. Like, it was so fucked.
Oh, okay. So, like, he wasn't doing anything particularly wrong.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, kick him. Yeah, like, I don't like him, but I'm not gonna ambush him in the street.
But he's had his kicking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, trying to get off.
Oh my god, I am so fucked. I think I'm.
Yeah, we can tell.
Yeah, you can tell. I am super fucked. I think it's time to retire. AZ, you are such a fucking trooper. Like, you texted me going, I've only got spoons to go for a little while, and you've fucking survived for 3 hours. And you're a fucking trooper, bro.
Let's see what happens tomorrow night.
And this is literally the one drink I've had all night.
Yeah, again, Dr. Abiel, I feel like you've been supporting us.
Not a small. These are large glasses, but
again, that does seem like a pretty large glass you have there. And we'll maybe do it again for Saturday night, because it's not date night on Saturday.
Cool.
So we might do another stream tomorrow night. I'm just going to go, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just, I feel like I'm probably fucked, but we'll maybe do a stream on Saturday night. Who knows what will happen on Saturday night.
Let's see if I can get some sleep.
Yeah, dude, you need to sleep. If you have some spoons, you could join us on Saturday night. Anything could happen. It could be a wild fucking thing.
Thank you, Megaleech. Thank you.
I haven't slept in a few nights now because of the
really appreciate it
in my side. So maybe I'll get some sleep tonight.
Yeah, you get some sleep. I don't know. I'll get some sleep. Oh, I fucking hell. I think my Saturday is just going to be a thing of, get fucked. And I might sleep during the day. Anything could be a thing, but we're all gonna go. It's gonna be fucking fine. We'll go.
Good night, Salimi.
Okay. I just want to say, will I say this about Salumi? Yum. Our sexy brat sidekick. I don't know. That's the whole thing. But let's go to bed.
Live long and prosper, everyone.
Good night, Prosper.
Good night.
Indeed.
See
Have the
you
best
another
one.
time. Bye for now.